I'm officially recording, so if you're gonna swear, do it a bit later. YouTube do not like it when you swear in the first, 5 minutes, so... Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night wherever you may be, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show that you format or formula host of the HCW Show podcast, and it's powered to the power of, you guessed it, 2. I'm host as always, Dan, DP, or do it all say around the playground nowadays? I don't know where I was going with that. D, C. Yeah. And you know what? It's what it is. It's what it is. I am, of course, though, not alone in this. I am joined by my fellow compatriots in the playground. The owner of a Bootio cereal box. It's Mr. Impact Craig. How you doing?
You know me. It's that M-I-C Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Yeah, I'm all good. Tired because, wrestling's trying to kill me with sleep deprivation, but I'm all good. It was an interesting week of NXT, but we move and yeah. Can't complain if I didn't know and listen anyway.
Yeah, we will get into everything NXT in a moment, but before we do, I've got another guest to introduce. I am, of course, now joined by someone who's been on the channel and someone who's come back, so he's clearly enjoying his time here. The owner of several bottles of Prime, including Ice Pop, Meta Moon, Glowberry, Tropical Punch, Blue Raspberry, and Lemon Lime. It's Penciled In Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I forgot that the primes are on display. They were the kiddos' primes, just saying. I'm already missing enough teeth. I don't need to. Which is why I am toothless aggression. Here we go.
Hey. That's...
No.
Was that someone else's moniker?
I'm sure it probably was. It definitely was.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Like the one that, was like the Voldemort of wrestling.
Oh shit! Oh, sugar me down. Sorry, apologies. Bleep that. Cut that.
I'm pretty sure that was his nickname.
The Voldemort of wrestling. Oh no. Yeah, no. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm sure I would be regretting it immediately.
You know what? I've said fucking playground already. I've sworn now. I've said playground. Yeah, you've mentioned him. Like it's.
I did. I'd completely forgotten. 100%. And now I'm never ever going to say it again. I'm only going to go from this side.
Get my good
This is what happens when I don't have Nikki with me. This just keeps me in check.
Right, whoa.
Of course,
There's a gentle.
Nikki can't be with us, I'm afraid, this week, but hopefully she'll be back at a future episode. But we'll see. Of course, this is, of course, the go-home show for NXT No Mercy, the upcoming PLE. And this... Very typically, go-home shows aren't the strongest, especially with NXT. So, with that in mind... Have we got any comments to say before we get started? It can be a no, by the way. It's not a thing like, oh, do say something. Like you can just say, oh, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a relatively cut and dry NXT this week, so when we get into it, that'll all kind of come out.
Yeah. fine. we'll expand on that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of the job of a podcast.
I mean, for Craig, it's been pretty much a up and down experience, I guess, because he I believe you watched NXT straight off of watching TNA Emergence, right? Or is it...
No, I watched the episode of Impact and then watched. I did watch Emergence last night.
Oh, okay.
This morning, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, I can't believe this morning. Yeah, and just get a random JBL appearance in TNA. This happens on an everyday basis, doesn't it? Really, it's JBL popping up in TNA.
Oh, he's made an appearance on TNA now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's just appeared on GCW.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona, so I'm assuming there's a Matt Cardona relationship again.
The Cowboys are back in town. Yeehaw! So yeah, as I said, NXT Go Home Show for No Mercy, NXT 27th of August 2024. We kick off things with Fatal Influence. They're walking in the corridor, but there's nothing behind them. So they're just standing there in front of a metal shutter, ready for the camera to roll, and then they start walking towards the camera.
Ready now? Okay, let's walk.
Yeah, they claim they're going to win. Cool. And then it pans to Lash and Jakara, who claim that they're NXT, and that Fatal Influence have made a fatal mistake. And then they pose. And then we get the lights. They were at the entranceway.
Oh, they were.
It's so weird, but I kind of liked it.
What is it? A relatively strong promo entrance for both of them, to be honest, to set up the show.
Yeah.
Let's go, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm into that.
My first note is I did say about their entrance, Fatal Influence, is that I can't help but think that Fallon's look doesn't match the vibe they're going for.
She's kind of the big bougie coat.
Yeah.
Does make her look very different.
Like you've got Jasmine and JC who are very stylish, very femme fatale, and then you've got Fallon who's like Cruella de Vil here, wearing a massive like dog coat. Like
I imagine that coat is very expensive and she just wants to wear it constantly.
Yeah, it's gonna get her work out of that.
Yeah. I imagine it's very expensive. That's why she's wearing it all the time. Just get your money's worth.
Strangely enough, I actually like the kind of currently, just because I enjoy where Henley's going at the moment, and I don't think we'll see a slightly more stripped down version at some point, but there is that kind of like, I don't know, when you get like a gang, or like there's just that one like weirdo who does their own thing, but they're completely in on whatever it is that the gang is doing. I don't hate it. It's like I say, I'm enjoying seeing Henley grow as a heel. She's way more vicious, which was cool. But yeah, it stands the fuck out. It really stands out hard, especially when you got Jasmine Nix looking like she was in like the same kind of like Shawn Michaels unfinished brown pants kind of thing. Yeah, they were both very glam, like you say, very fashion feminine. She was very toned down almost. I thought, but she's learning. That's the whole thing. She's like the prospect.
It works well.
They have new music as well.
Yeah, it's new music. Yeah. I've not had much chance to actually review the music yet, because it's something I like doing. I like themes and I like music for wrestlers, because I think it sets a tone. I think entrances and themes are very important.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have like Cody Rhodes, for example, coming out like doing the Clowns music. Like
maybe Stardust.
Just like the honk honk.
I mean, one time wouldn't be awful. Once wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah.
I
definitely doing that. Sorry.
Someone's done an entrance on 2K, I reckon.
I was going to say I'm going to do that today.
Yeah, got to see how it goes.
The best ridiculous entrance on 2K.
Or how got the clown for Cody's entrance.
Yeah. I remember when I remember like when I was younger, and like like here comes the pain or shut your mouth, whatever. It was always funny to like have, because back at the time obviously they accentuated the entrance for the women, so it was very like lean in left foot, lean in right foot, etc. So it was always funny to get that Big Show doing that entrance.
Oh yeah.
Also, you got that classic one of Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar doing the Iconics entrance.
That was
yes,
it.
yeah.
I was trying to
That was
find
great,
which one it was then. Yeah.
It fits.
I can do it.
So I'm pretty sure I've seen a Brock coming out to the Bellas. You can look, but you can't touch. Just so grim. It's funny. Brilliant.
Yeah. Anywho.
But that is our first tangent of probably 200 today. As we go to the first match of the night, which is Metaphor, Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson against the Fatal Influence, JC Jane and Fallon Henley. Of course, Fatal Influence win with a combination of a calf kick and a bicycle knee. I rated this 2 3/4. It was, for all intents and purposes, fine. It wasn't bad. It just also didn't have anything particularly special about it or great about it. And honestly, no memorable spots either for me. The result made sense because they're trying to build a new group. And hopefully the first impression is not the standard for them. I want to see them improve.
Yeah.
So what do we think?
That's fair. I mean, yeah, it's like I said, a new group. They kind of had to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone did fine. There was, like I said, there was no real memorable things. One thing I do like, and I'll continue to like it with Jakara, is she does the "Say Sorry, Miss Jackson" and then slaps you. I love that. I genuinely love when she does that. But the first time she did it, she got more of a reaction. She got the "ooh" bit, but she didn't get it in this one, which was a bit meh. But yeah, it was just standard. Like, yeah, they kind of had to win. Was it this one? Oh, come on. Okay, no, it's the Izzy Day match, never mind. But yeah, I mean, fine. Considering I do like the finisher of Fallon and JC though. I think it's like a nice finisher.
Yeah.
Not what I thought not what I thought the finish was going to be. So I'm glad it was that instead of what it was earlier on. Beyond that, just yeah, fine. Did the job of just did the job. The whole point of it.
See, I've actually had the benefit of watching this twice. Because I had the same feeling for genuine the first time round. It just I don't know. If I'm gonna watch any wrestling show, be it kind of on telly, pay-per-view, indie, anything like that, there's an expectation. So, and sometimes that's not met, and I can't enjoy it as much. I don't know. But when I go back to it second time round and I know what I'm expecting, I'm able to kind of pick apart some of the better. I get more out of it because I can see that there are good points, and like AEW's Gauntlet match, not the whole thing was brilliant, but like Nigel McGuinness coming out and doing all this kind of stuff. Second time round, I was like, oh, he's actually a lot faster than I realised, kind of thing, and stuff like that. So I did that with this, and like you say, I actually gave it a 3 because mostly because of what it can do. It is they deserve the win. Fatal Influence got the win. It was really cool to see, like I say, Fallon Henley at the end when they got the pinch, just stomping around the ring. I really like the attitude that she's got, and she's very much like that. I'm in here, I've been here, and I'm in here still. So let's go. Lash Legend did one spot where I'm pretty sure she like basically dribbled Fallon like a basketball, and then swung around or swung her legs into JC, something like that, right? I thought that was fun, but it needs some work.
I'm just trying to picture the visual of someone like bouncing a basketball with someone's body. Like,
all I can think of is delete. But
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. Like you say, the finisher was neat. I really like that. I like JC Jane as a striker. I think she's got a real aggressive attitude. She seems scrappy, and I like it. So yeah, but like you say, much past that, it's showing that there's some development within the new team, which is what put it up to a 3, to be honest, because it is going to go somewhere. I feel like it's going to go somewhere. Toxic attraction related, I think they're going to be booed and then naturally get over just because of how badass they are, and how no nonsense. That's the hope anyway, and I'm really hoping, we see Nyx get a bit more confidence on camera. In those, like that walking promo, like you say at the beginning, felt a little bit awkward. She felt very like GCSE drama kind of thing, which is fair because they're not actors. You know what I mean? They're not. They've got to learn, which is fine. But it's so hard to take when it's like this is a product we're putting out, and then you kind of go.
It's just like
hopefully we can see more.
There was a door next to them. Why can't they just go through the door?
And that would have been, I like that thing as well. When they come around the corner, it's like dynamic, man. Like it's like we're coming straight into shot and just it's like beat these.
Have the camera pan on the door. Door opens, out they come. All 3 of them, or like a single file, whatever. But like, But rather than be like,
sure.
Are you rolling? On NXT, we're gonna.
Yes. Now.
Action.
Oh, I didn't even think of it like that until you mentioned GCSE drama, because it's exactly like GCSE drama.
Yeah, even though they kind of like slight head wiggle, like I've got attitude kind of thing. But yeah, there's definitely promise for Lash and Jakara. I like Lash is definitely like she stepped up on her own a little bit whilst Jakara was injured.
Yeah.
And now that they're back together as a team, they seem to have kind of taken a step back. I feel like whatever push or whatever hype that was behind Lash, it's not so much gone away. They still get a big pop now, but the momentum's gone.
Yeah, it is. And that's always been. I think that's always been the issue when you got a wrestler like NXT, because there's a lot of people.
Yes,
and it's the same thing with main roster WWE, same thing with AEW. Like, how do you keep momentum going for certain people without deflating others? So, like, there's not enough TV time for this. Yeah. Like you would need a 10-hour show. Like you like. Also, I'm not putting that. I put that in the universe. Do not do a 10-hour show, please.
Oh jeez, no.
I'm pulling that back into the circle. Like,
did not go into the universe.
Yeah. So yeah,
never.
So yeah, after this, we get a video of Eddie Thorpe doing DJing. Yeah.
Oh.
And he's chatting to women about it, and they're like, "Oh, that's really cool, Eddie. You do DJ. That's cool." Then in comes Ashante Adonis, who's like, "Hey, ladies, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, DJ." He's like, "He's a DJ. That's cool, right? Yeah." He's surprised to find out that Eddie's just friends with him because he's assuming he's using his DJing to get in bed with them or something. And he's like, "Okay, why is this a thing?" But never mind that, because back in the background of this, we see Edge Sanofe walking into a room. I don't know what room it is. It's just a weird little meeting room. And then shortly afterwards comes Brooks Jensen with a chair, who goes into the room and beats him up.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why Edge is in that room. That's what I want to know.
Exactly. That's what I want to know. Why was he going in there? It's not a hallway. It's an office.
There's nothing else in there other than I'm pretty sure there was a table.
Yeah, it's a meeting room. It's like a one-on-one consultation room. Like,
I mean,
I liked the visual of someone hitting the kind of like translucent window, the opaque window. Sorry, I liked that. I thought that was a cool visual, and I think that was probably the just to kind of like link it into this scene. It's the only way it's going to work if we're going to do it in here, but it's a weird place to just do it in an empty room.
Yeah, but also, did we need Eddie Thorpe here, and did we need Ashante here? Like, well,
No.
you could have had literally anyone else and their characters doing something, instead of, "Hey, I'm gonna be a creep again."
Yeah, he said the words platonic friendship. But it was the way he said platonic friendship between a man and a woman. It's like, dude, come on! It's literally like
It's 2024.
20 years. Yeah, we spent 20 years doing this shit between 1980 and 1990 and 2000 and around 2010. It was like, you know what?
Like, how did
Men and
we
women
like
can't be friends, weirdly.
we went from somewhat respectable in the 80s because you had like Ms. Elizabeth, you had Sensational Sherry, you know, who were like respectable women, right? And they were treated with respect. And we went to, you know, the 90s where it was like it was okay because you had like the Japan women coming in, and you had like Alundra Blaze, Paul Nakano, great matches. Then you go to the late 90s and the early 2000s. Let's ignore that bit. We go then to the mid 2000s, which is like it's a bit better, but it's still not that good. And then 2010 is like, oh, the Divas stuff, yeah, like Laycool were fine. That's about it.
Laycool were there a lot. I
think, but like again, it's only I think 2014, I think it was, that they started being like, actually, we've got these 4 women here who are really fucking good. You know, but that's Becky, Becky Mercedes, Sasha, Charlotte, and Bailey. Thank you.
I mean, before the evolution, there were the knockouts, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. There was an actual booming women's division elsewhere, and to this weird. I mean, the whole point is for everyone to get like, oh, shut up, Ashante, and
we're past the point now.
Yeah, I do feel like we're making what's his chops. Oh God, I've forgotten it. Eddie Thorpe.
Eddie Thorpe.
Thorpe.
Yeah.
Thorpe, not Thorpe. Jesus. Eddie Thorpe. Thank you. I'm terrible with names. Here's our minute for the music, man. It's like it's like, all right. To be fair, he is, so that's cool. He's again very white meat babyface to me right now, with a bit of a DJ edge, which is cool. But the Ashante thing was completely unwarranted and unneeded. I don't know why you're going to use that to set up a match. It's odd.
It's like,
what's he doing on main roster with Cedric? Do we know?
They seem to. They went to speak to Nick Aldis, right? And there was like a whole. There's opportunities here. We can do this, and then NXT. She didn't happen. No, it didn't happen. She's NXT. They've always been NXT.
Yeah.
Like Jack Torrance in NXT.
What am I thinking? Sorry.
When they cut and I saw the Eddie Thorpe's DJ set again, I thought, oh, not again. What are we doing this for? Like, why is it happening show every week? Then Ashanti came out, just move it on.
Yeah.
It's really, really unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do anyone any favors.
No.
It's just creepy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's creepy.
And it's not believable, I don't think.
No.
I really, because it's been so done. We've had Stifler in American Pie. We've had, you know what I mean? We've had all those different characters from like sitcoms and movies and coming of age stuff. We've had it all. Like, go with a different angle, try something more. And like I say, Ashante, he's a very kind of smooth character. You can tell he's got a very he can speak in a very cool way, in a smooth way. I don't know, but immediately putting it to creep is like,
and
you know what I mean? There's the guy at the end of the bar. He might have put something in there. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a creepy dude. Cut that out. That was gross what I just said.
No, honestly, I think it like I'll keep that in because like you've recognised it's weird anyway, but it's good because it is creepy, and it hopefully someone from WWE does see this and it's like, actually no, they're right, because that is the vibe that you get from him. It's like if you saw him in a bar and he's like, oh, he bought you a drink, you probably wouldn't take it.
I wouldn't want it.
Like, you know, like.
I mean, depends how bad a day I'm having, but yeah. Screw it.
Do you fancy forgetting?
But yeah, it feels. It was the same as we spoke about a couple of weeks ago. It's the same as last week. He's doing the same thing over and over and over again. Let's get something new going for Ashante, because I believe there's something there. I have to believe there's something there.
Yeah.
Hi, Cooper.
Sorry. And a quick side note before we go on as well. On Brooks Jensen, from behind, he looks a bit like Jet Perry.
Like, that's what they're doing.
Like, that's like I thought this for a second. I was like, is that Jet Perry? No, it's Brooks Jensen. Like, is that by is that by design, or is that just coincidental?
Honestly, it didn't connect with me. I guess because I don't watch Jack Perry on a weekly basis. So.
Fair.
It wasn't until later that we made the comparison. However, yeah, it feels like there is there's a scapegoat, sacrificial lamb. There's a hard done to bad guy who's kind of coming in and being like, you know, he's all rugged and stuff like that, and he's just aggression. I think there's definitely a connection, and not the same thing, but something similar.
Oh, if Brooks Jensen comes out with a fucking goat's head next week, like,
love it. A wolf or something, just a different animal.
Yeah. I'm the skate wolf.
So someone's telling that real glass.
Yeah.
Sorry. Someone's telling no real glass.
Oh, if Brooks had knocked on the room wall, and be like, that's real wall.
That's real drywall.
So yeah, after this, we get a tweet from Wendy Chu, revealing that she's got a special surprise opponent for Kalani Jordan tonight. But who will it be? Thank you. And straight after this tweet, we are brought into the swing, swing, swoom. It's Carla Petrovic. She's here to take on Eddie Dame. They've got a just. Can we stop with the AR graphics? Like, we don't need. Like, she has one. Javon Evans has one. That's not needed. And that's not going to come to mind actually. But
Metaphors is the worst one.
Yeah,
because it doesn't. It starts nice. They're all in there, and then it doesn't. It's just an overlay. Yeah. So it doesn't come with them. So they're just walking through a circle that's there, and it just looks a mess.
Yeah,
it's nuts every time it happens. Like that thing, man. But yeah, they're not needed.
Nah.
It's like
Ruka annoys me. Ruka's one annoys me.
Oh yeah,
which one's Sol
the
Ruka's?
wave? Like,
yeah. And it doesn't matter where it is. It's just that's where it just starts on whoever's in shot, and it bugs me. It's not a ringside. It's wherever the camera is before Sol's match. That's where it starts. Like,
what if we like emulated like the effects of the AR to the crowd? So like Sol Ruka's wave comes in, and people stand by with buckets of water and throw it on the crowd. Like,
4D. They should like make her like they should do like the like a SpongeBob SquarePants transition. Like, you know, with the bubbles on the screen.
The Soruku arrives on one of the like, orange buses with like the circular windows.
She gives me Sandy energy, you know.
Oh, because she comes with a little spacesuit and the helmet and.
Oh yeah, I love that. Or a special pay-per-view entrance, PLE entrance. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can picture that too. I can see her doing that, and I wouldn't be against it.
No,
No, I wouldn't either.
let's make it happen. Is Soul Reaper on is Soul Reaper on 2K yet?
I'm sure she is she not?
I don't know.
Maybe DLC.
I think it was DLC. I think she is though. Well, if she is, we know what Mike's doing tonight.
Okay, there's a creation. There's a bunch of creation characters. Atai pieces added, lunge berets. They all have in-ring files announced. So there's a chance that they might be there already. I just haven't. I haven't played it for a little while, to be honest.
Same, to be honest. Yeah.
But definitely going to today now. I'm gonna create so many entrances today.
There we go. That's well. So yeah, the match itself:
Yeah.
Carmen Petrovic and Izzy Dame. Carmen wins, which you count as a sidewinder suplex thingy with a sunset flip pin. I rate this 2.5 stars. It was short, but it was concise and again served the purpose. Like the first match, but just shorter. It was fine, nothing great. And my next comment here is I just wish Carmen would stop the sword stuff. I literally wrote that down.
Yeah, it was. I gave it 2.5. Also, same deal. It was another match for Izzy Day where she was just there. It was another match for. It didn't bring the heat that I think that. I don't even think that they're looking for. I think it is one of those matches where it's give them some TV time, get them some experience, show that they can go, and they both can. Izzy Dame's got a mean powerbomb.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
I really do. I think she's got some real good power moves. Carmen, she. I don't know about Carmen Petrovic yet myself. This is very distracting at the beginning. She's very good at it, and I like it for just the intro. I just don't do the swing noises.
Again, we go back to what I said earlier with the emulating the effects of the AR, right? So have some staff members with a sheet of paper that you can cut through, rather than.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not something like that? Yeah, Bron Breakker kicked an NXT. Black and gold sign down. People are broken through stuff all the time. The Shockmaster broke through a wall.
Yeah, or it's like WrestleMania 13. Stone Cold's entrance was literally a glass wall breaking in front of him.
Yes, beautiful. I think a PLE special entrance, if she ever gets to that point, which I think she can. I don't see why not. They seem to have shown promise in her.
Yeah.
This match was again. Fine. I go as far as to say good, but yeah, it just felt like these two should be on TV, so just send them out there. The swing, I do like it, but it is slightly overdone. It's a bit much for what it needs to be, considering it's just TV.
Yeah, I mean,
but then that it's. I mean, as far as the match goes itself, I'm not a fan of the torture rack. I don't like it. It just doesn't. I can't really think of many people who do the torture rack where it looks good. I think Hammerstone is one of them.
For his faults, I mean, I pretty like Lex Luger's torture rack.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's a move that's based off a lot of ability to kind of bounce, move, and give good face.
Yeah.
And if you can like pull off all of those, and the dance partner being like able to sell like flimsy. That's why a lot of when Bobby Lashley was rocking around with it, I'm sure he was rocking around with a toy trap for a
certain
minute,
amount of time, yeah. And then and he started doing the master lock or the hurt lock. Sorry.
That was it. Yeah, he did. That was it. The hurt lock. But even with moves like that, it requires that both people giving great face. So it's one that it doesn't land very often for me as well. So
I don't mind it. Yeah, it needs to be. It's someone who hits it needs to be built. The person who has the move has to be like built like a brick house. Like someone who I'd say could do it is like like Camille in AEW. Like I imagine she could do it because she's built in a certain way. Like Izzy as well could do it because she's built in a certain way. Lash could do it. Like it needs to be someone who's bigger who hits the move. Like having like, for example, like Roxanne Perez doing it. You know, it wouldn't look right.
What if it was like Ilya doing it to Gunther? I feel like they might be able to pull it off, but it would still look bonkers because
they'd get away with it. Yeah,
Gunther would basically be bridging. He'd just be stood under and going.
It would be, that's the difference. It would be impressive. It's not just like, oh, I'm doing it because I can. He's doing it because I can, and I want to show you I can.
Yeah.
Or it's like Claudio Castagnoli. Like he can do a great one, and he even spins him around. Like sometimes he doesn't even hold him. He's like this is just on his neck. Like
that was bonkers. He pulled that out at, what was it, Mania against Cephas in 2020. That was I'd never seen a UFO before.
It's insane.
It just depends who's doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, Hammerstone's got a good one because Hammerstone's huge.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace can do it, but it's similar with Bear Hug. Like you have to sell it like you're going to kill this person.
Yeah.
And it's a mess.
Yeah. Well, moving on, we go backstage. It's the Ren QCC. They're preparing when Ren wants to get in some training, but butts heads to Charlie, who claims that they should be following his direction because he's the Heritage Cup holder, which I thought was fair enough. But then obviously Ren reminds him that because of her he's champion and cup holder, and we go pretty much from there. It's a bit of nothing, but just starting to set up what's coming. And then we go to the other half of the equation, the family. They're also preparing. And then some goons come in. They're like, "Hey, Don, look at this. Don, we need you. Don, look at this." And then Tony's like, "Not now, later." But he's like, but Don. And then they walk off, and the goons actually get a bit of line here. They say, "This is so bad." What could it be? Mystery and intrigue. It's like at this point, it's like I knew almost exactly what was happening, like because it's never anything too serious, and they've already done gambling and debt with Chase U, so it isn't going to be that. Yeah, it's not going to be murder, it's not going to be drugs or anything like that. It's going to be something melodramatic, like something to do with the restaurant, maybe. The only thing that they focused on, like.
Does seem to be like a bit. I like that is a big part of the family's storyline. It's like that's their Judgment Day's clubhouse. That's
exactly. It's like exactly. Judgment Day's clubhouse, Carmelo Hayes' barbershop, like.
Yes, yeah.
They take that personal. Take it personal.
But yeah, so after these little backstage segments, we get a sit-down interview with Jada Parker. Jada talks about her history, being a D1 soccer player. I have no idea what that means. And leading all the way to her title match at No Mercy. Jada believes that Roxanne is underestimating her. She gives Roxanne her flowers and talks about her achievements. But that she's not a soccer player who's now a WWE star, but it's a WWE star who's playing soccer. What? These are going like different in my head. Like, Roxanne comes in to save Jada from herself and to save the segment because I don't get what Jada's talking about. She gives congrats to Jada for getting where she is, but that her story is the same as everyone else's that she's faced, and they all share a common trait: they all lose. She says Jada's a future champion for sure, but she's no prodigy, and there's no one better than her. Jada says that she'll slap the taste out of Roxanne's mouth. Roxanne says she'd like to see that, so Jada does exactly that. And then as Jada walks away, she talks to someone off camera, saying they could get it too. Roxanne recovers and gasps upon seeing the person. But we don't see who that person is.
One or two people, I know.
Yeah.
One or two people.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
But what about
either...
what about a mystery third?
I really enjoyed this segment.
Mm-hmm.
The promo from Jada was phenomenal. Like she smashed this.
Mm.
She got the spotlight. And
she can talk, right? She can talk. She's got charisma. But what she was saying to me made no sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's very much for the audience of. Very much the American audience they're looking to here.
Well,
with this.
Cater to your international audience, people.
Yeah. D1's a big deal. That's all I know. It's D. It's like in college sports in America is like it's such a huge business. And you know how much they put into their like money their government puts into their athletes.
Yeah,
you know,
particularly women's football, soccer. It's huge over there.
Yeah,
It's the reason it's as big as it is now. America, like most of the current women's players played in America because that's where they put the most focus on the game. So it's for her to get to that level is incredible because it's such a diluted. I can't think of the word. It's just a stacked place to be, and you have to stand out to be able to get an opportunity. And if she's that good,
it's quite a
also, why didn't she use a
thing to do?
Finisher? Like, she's a football player. Why didn't she?
I was just gonna say this. I was just gonna say that.
I think at some point she'll implement it like Lashley's Coops.
Yeah,
it's like,
and then it popped me when Roxanne said, "I'd like to see you try," and just slapped her in the face.
Yeah,
that was
on side.
Yeah,
she's a badass.
I love that bit. There's so many times that people were like, "Oh, I'd like to see you try that," and then it's like, "Oh, security, break up the fight." Oh, and then she's like, "Okay, bet." I was very much at face value, and I'm like, I'm all for that. Like if someone calls you out on it, do it.
It shows that she is that. You know, she is that type of lass, and she is that type of person, and she has shown that she is the reason why OTM got over for me when she started kind of mouthing off and being shown her attitude. It was awesome. So her having this sit down with Roxy was cool. Roxy again just kind of coming in, speaking the truth as well, which is great. Dude, it's okay. Sorry. See Jada be getting the kind of like the rub that she's getting and taking it so well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next with that match, as well as who's behind the kind of thing. Which I mean, we're all kind of. Did you have a secret third person, by the way? The potential?
It was mainly just a joke one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, it's Linda McMahon.
Linda finally came back.
She's finally out of her coma.
Oh God! She stands up.
I'm
just gonna go get the dog.
Yeah.
It must have been. It must have been one of those two.
Yeah, it has to be.
And probably gonna, whoever it was, is probably gonna make an appearance at No Mercy.
Yeah, I think they're both. Appearing at No Mercy. I think one comes out to confront Roxanne or Jada, and the other one's in the crowd for the show, like being like, "Oh, look, they're here!" Like,
It was Julia at Stand and Deliver. I imagine it'd be Stephanie Vakiev at.
Yeah, and then
And
Julia.
if they do the
Mhm.
when they do the in-crowd stuff, like, oh, look who's here.
Yeah,
Like, I do like that, and yeah, it kind of has to be Stephanie Vakiev this time.
yeah. I think Vakir gets the whole, look who's here tonight, and then Julia will come out after the match to confront the champion, and then Vakir might get involved in that. I don't know, but like, they don't normally have the in-crowd guest be involved in physical stuff at that time. They might change it. I don't know, but the way I see it, I think Julia comes out and challenges whoever wins, presumably Roxanne. But we'll get into predictions after this. Sorry, surprise, Mike. By the way, this is also the prediction show for No Mercy.
Me and Nick haven't done our written down yet, so this will be I'll be able to be the first time I've ever gone into doing our predictions with predictions.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead, I can make them up on the spot.
I just assumed I didn't say anything because I thought Craig would already have an idea about predictions that were coming up, but I just remembered that you also wouldn't have known.
No, I do have my own ideas on predictions and stuff like that for sure already pretty much locked in, mostly too. So usually a bit of conversation helps that along the way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Mike, who do you think while you're away? We were discussing who it is, the mystery person. Who do you think it is?
Stephanie Becker or Julia. I don't know which one. I don't know which one they would actually do first. I think Julia, because she was announced first, and there's been such a thing, and they do tend to announce them and keep them off for a little bit. Yeah. However, with both Julia and Stephanie Becker, there's been controversy around them to a degree. Not necessarily Julia herself, but the people that it's mainly Vakir because of how business was handled, which I don't fully understand myself, so I won't go into because that's a whole thing that just it seems like a bit of a mess and stuff like that, and a lot of hurt feelings in places where it didn't need to happen. But Julia is attached to the fellow who's just started Marigolds.
Yes.
Former Stardom, and he's been under a bit of a watchful eye as of late as well. So I'd like to see Julia come in first, because Roxanne was training for Julia. Yeah, she was doing stiffer shots. She was working a lot stiffer and a lot more kind of stronger style, getting ready for, in my opinion, for a Julia match. Yeah. So I'd like to see that. I really would like to see that happen. Like you say, comes out at the end. I think that'll be comes out in No Mercy, one of those spots. I'm very excited for No Mercy, actually, thinking about it, because the pay-per-views are always, like we were saying last time we were on, there's always really great moments, and they're some of the most consistent pay-per-views, or PLEs, sorry, that... Can you hear him?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Hoops, mate, you're not going outside, buddy. It can't happen. You're a diva, and you're horrible to next door, so stop it. Please. I am recording. Your mum's asleep, I think. I don't know what she's doing.
I'm trying to do a podcast here. Come on.
Come on, Coops. No, it'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll calm down in a second.
Ultimately, it's pets anyway, and there's all house stuff, you know. It's you can't really control them anyway.
Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna go take the dog to Nikki.
Okay. So.
Most title match. Bruh. Give it a freaking signal. Don't know what's happening today. But yeah, it'd be one of those two. Yeah.
I mean, it should be one of those two, in all honesty. But there could be a surprise third. Not who I said, but there could be a surprise person they just bring in.
Who did you say, by the way? Sorry, I missed that. Who did you say for that surprise third?
Oh, no, I'm saying other than the one I said earlier. I don't know who it could be, but, it could be genuinely someone that no one's had on the radar. As well, I feel like there are things that they can keep secret from reporters and the dirt sheets, whatever. There could be.
Don't we do that?
Hell, it could be a returning main roster person as well, like a Charlotte Flair, or not Charlotte Flair, but just Like someone other than Charlotte. Like,
Yes.
please,
Big
someone other
enough
than.
to create scene. Or Natalia. Don't be Natalia.
I mean,
Not again.
Natalia's not a big deal. I don't think. Like,
It's not.
not
anymore.
for PLE.
What if they can finally do it and they do get AJ Lee? What if?
That would be
They're trying.
like
Just imagine they're
like
trying.
who, like, speaking realistically, who has enough prestige, I guess is the word for it, that Roxanne Perez would gasp upon seeing them. It'd be AJ Lee, realistically speaking, because of just
Julia's coming.
like
You know
like
Julia's coming.
yeah, but it's also AJ Lee, like Roxanne's a big Punk person and a big AJ Lee person, like
She's
see
literally putting her promo.
yeah, like seeing your childhood, or not childhood, maybe your teenage hero, or whatever, like. That would make you gasp. Like, like Roxanne's character doesn't gasp at people appearing. Like, her childhood hero.
But Jada said, "I heard about you, and you can get some too." I don't know if that would be AJ Lee.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
As much as I want it to be, I just don't think. Again, Jada wouldn't react like that. Say, "Oh, I've heard about you." Like, if that was AJ Lee watching you,
I think
there'd be a lot more.
I honestly,
like,
I feel like
shit.
Jada Parker didn't spin in the same circles that Roxanne did. Like, I don't think Jada would even know that well who AJ Lee was.
Is it really? But is it really worth? Oh, I've heard about you. Is it that level?
Yeah,
Like-
true.
Because that's still AJ Lee. Like, if you have to know your history. If you're coming into wrestling, you should know your history. Minimum.
Yeah,
What if it was Asuka?
I want to be.
that'd be a good shout. I mean, I would love to see a Roxanne Asuka match.
might shock considering who Asuka was in NXT specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. For
That might put the shits up, and I don't know how she's getting on with her injury and stuff like that. I hope she's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
But that could also be a possibility for sure. But
What
like
we
you
liked
say,
of Asuka was that she made an appearance at the Japan tour in Osaka. That's literally what I saw of Asuka there. So maybe.
yeah. Did she wrestle there, or did she just make an appearance?
I just walked out of damage control. That's all.
Fair. So
I think it was Miko Satomura, but that's about it.
that'd be cool.
Hmm.
So
Maybe it's Miko.
That
Yeah,
would be
that would.
fucking that would actually shock Roxy for sure, because they had a whole thing and it was great. That was actually, wasn't that when she had a flutter kind of thing and she like passed out? Was against Mako Satomura because she was pushing it so hard.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's honest. It's a really good call. Like, so a name I've really forgotten about. To my shame.
Retirement tour as well. Miko's retirement tour as well. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Indeed.
And then a match with her could set up Julia coming in.
Yeah. Look at us cooking.
Never know.
I know, right? Oh.
Wrestling, you know.
So yeah. So our official predictions are Julia, Stephanie Vickier, Mika Satomura, and Linda.
You know, just any of those 4 will be fine.
Yeah,
Five will be fine.
any of those 4. Yeah, specifically the last one though. I mean, I'd probably mark out. I mean, I would probably pop for that. Like,
Yeah. Linda should, if she was ever going to get back in, she should probably get in before the Netflix documentary comes out.
yeah, and probably before Trump wins the election.
Yeah.
But no. Let's move on to the next match of the night. We had the family, Adriana Rizzo, Stax, and Juicy Lucy himself, Luca Cristofino, taking on the NQCC, Ray Sinclair, Charlie Dempsey, and Miles Bourne, who I wrote here as Miles Osborne for some reason. I don't know why I wrote Osborne. So the family win with a shatter machine on Miles, which is also, I believe the official term is lung blower. I think.
Yeah.
But I rated this 3.25 stars. It was better. I'm not sure I approve of the massive gender split here, in that the women only got about a minute of in-ring action, whereas the men got about 8 or 9 minutes. Altogether, it was like a 10, 11 minute match, and most of it went to the men, and the women barely did anything. The team of Crucifino and Stax is coming together, though, so I like that much. And Adriana continues to show more spark with each coming week, and I really like the AQCC. To just continue to show each week that they're great. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of the split that they do in these matches.
This generally did annoy me because it's like it's wrestling. Like they have everyone wrestle each other. It's so silly that the men and women cannot touch. They cannot wrestle. But even though Ren and Rizzo got involved with the men outside, had that been the other way around, it would have been a disqualification.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that is just so silly. Like, because it makes no sense as to why they can't just face to face with each other. Particularly when you look at, I don't know, when Charlie and Stax were in the ring and Ren tags herself in, that stops the momentum of that match. It stops it dead because now Stax and Charlie can get a rest, which affects the other team.
Mm-hmm.
It really irritates me that tag them in once and that they've been in the match setting, that's fine. We can just and then have a little bit outside. It frustrates me, like I said, because it's just wrestling. If they don't want to, fair enough. That's their prerogative. But for WWE to not do it at all, it's ridiculous. Because you can see how it can be done. Watch TNA, you can see how well men and women working together can be done. Like, that's how it should be done. If you go to any independent promotion, you can see it being done well. Again, it is whether the person wants to do it or not. But, I mean, was Ren an independent wrestler?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Manny Winkowski.
Yeah. So I'm assuming she's faced men before.
Yeah.
Like, she would have trained with men. Rizzo would have trained with men. What's the difference in training with them and being in the ring with them on TV? Like, it's still the same level of physicality because you're learning how to. Because Rizzo would have learned to take bumps and stuff. She'd have been trained by Norman Smiley. She'd have been trained by William Regal and whoever else was there.
Yeah.
It's so silly that they cannot touch unless it's on the outside and let's pop them by having Ren pick someone up or throw them around, or Rizzo throw someone around. It's wrestling. They should. Like I said, you can say no if that's what you want, but the fact that we don't allow it at all is just ridiculous. It's 2024, and it's basically only if they're jacked they can exchange votes with men. That's literally it. But it frustrates me because it's 2024.
We're like Kendall Gray throwing Miles Osborne around.
Yeah, but that was just like to pop people.
It is often used as like
an attraction.
It's an attraction. It's something to pop them when Rhea did it to the Good Brothers to Gallows. Thank you. That was really neat. I hadn't seen it for a while. I do feel like they've been slowly pushing this idea that it might happen. I think a big part of it is because of television, because the channels don't want to see that because it's going to promote boys doing that to girls in the playground. They think censorship, all that kind of stuff comes into it. I think NXT might genuinely have a chance to see not often, not always, like you say, just at some point it'll happen. I think they're slowly pushing that way because there's so many different things that they're pushing at the minute to get us ready for a streamable place where we're not under the confines of a studio or a station anymore. It's the reason why sometimes it's the reason why there's less booking for women on certain stations, because they are all about the demographic, and when people turn off or they don't get the same amount of views, so that's all they consider. So therefore you can't push a story and make it better and make people watch. It's ridiculous. But in the same vein as intergender fights, who's your think's training each other, man, behind the scenes? The women aren't only being trained by the women, the men aren't only being trained by the men. They're learning from each other and they're fucking lamping each other behind the scenes. Do you not think William Regal was putting like people in arm bars and all sorts and stuff, showing them decent footwork? How else are you going to find it unless you're dancing with someone? Yeah. It's bonkers. It's a weird thing. So I'm really hoping they do away with it within this match. Adriana Rizzo is awesome.
Yeah.
And like you say, there was not enough time between. I thought I'd missed something, because it did seem like by the time the two women got involved, it was just when it was all on the outside, right? Like she flew out and she did the thing, and then she chucked Charlie Dempsey over her head and stuff like that. Yeah. I was like, I think I've missed 5 minutes of match here because I've just seen the blokes keep going. And they've been going good. It was great. I really enjoyed the match overall. Like yourself, I actually gave it a 3.5 because I didn't know you could do 3 and 3 quarters. I didn't want to give it a 4, so I stuck at 3.5. Juicy Lucy got a big pop. I was happy to see that. He got a big old pop. Him and Stax have great chemistry in a way that the Dawn and Stax had as well. Really enjoying seeing this group form to what they are, and the fact that the Dom was taken away and they still got the win is huge, because it can lead down 2 potential avenues. We got this done without you, or Don gets to go off and do his own thing with Oba, they get to do their thing, and it doesn't have to be constantly intertwined like Blackpool Combat Club, like Judgment Day. They can do their own stuff. So they're not confined to one person's storyline within the group. This expands it, and by getting the win, it also shows how the NQC are forming as well. They're arguing within each other. They have got all the skills in the world to beat every single team in NXT. However, if they can't not argue and get past each other, if Charlie can't get used to the new dynamic with Ren there, if Ren can't not fall in line, but realize that she's got to work with them as much as they've got to work with her, and if Miles can just keep doing what Miles is doing, so it's fun. He just eventually needs to slap them both and be like, "Yo, like, what are we doing here?" But there's potential across the board, and I think it was all shown in this match really nicely. It is just such a shame that we didn't get to see as much from Rizzo and Sinclair, because I think that's going to be a really good feud. I think they're going to have some banging matches.
Yeah, I think they will too. Yeah, it also makes you wonder though. Like, right now there's also infight in between them. Like, what's Tavian gonna think when he comes back?
Of course, Tavian. Completely forgot about Tavian.
Tavian to come back is
because that's what, a few weeks away, if that. I think they finished the M1 tournament now. I think.
Like, and going on for a while if it's still going.
And like, Tavion, like when he comes back, he can say, "Oh well, the Great Muta has endorsed me. Like I can be bigger in this group."
Yeah.
Like you add that to it.
More infighting.
There's a lot they could do with them if they acknowledge the fact that the Great Muta really rates Tavion heights.
What if we've got the Great Muta in NXT to manage the NQCC?
It's actually Great Muta's going to beat the living daylights out of Roxy. That's who she was scared of. They didn't give a damn. You can get it too.
Yeah, what a 60-year-old Great Muta.
But what if we have?
The crap out of her, yeah.
What if we have instead of 60-year-old Great Muta, 60-year-old Keiji Muto? Which just it's just him without the mask.
It's exactly the same.
And the two fellas coming out, the Don just walking out and stuff like that. Good fun stories, keep it going. This was one of the highlights of the show for me. Was seeing these lot. It was fun. It did exactly what it needed to. It didn't feel pointless. It didn't feel like we're just developing the wrestlers. It felt like we were developing a story.
Yeah.
Potentially to go separate ways so that they've got their own stories going forward, which is
also we
so
can't forget the development of Goon 1 and Goon 2.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, they came in.
Paid
they came in again.
Did.
They're like, "Hey, boss." Like,
have you seen them? They really are like whoever these dudes have been there from the beginning as well.
Yeah,
one of them definitely has been
one
there
of them
since
been there for ages. Yeah.
Who are they? Who are they within wrestling?
It's
are
conciliatory.
Are they wrestlers? Are they just actors? Are they just his mates? Who the fuck are they?
Nearly what? This is back just a little bit, but last week and this week, Blake from Blake and Murphy's back. He's just a trainer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
All right.
I've fought him twice. Like, cool. I know tangent, but I really like Blake.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see him. He's great. Yeah, I'm glad he's back on TV.
Yeah,
nice.
Kind of.
Cool.
Just a tangent, but yeah. Just noticed. I forgot to mention last week. Yeah. So cool. But,
we get an interview next with Pete Dunne. He warns Trick Williams that when you mess with a bruiserweight, you get beat within an inch of your life. That was it, pretty much. We then go backstage to Ava's office. Hey, remember when Ava had a surname?
Oh, we've not, have we?
That was fun.
Oh God, we're taking Ava's.
She's not a surname.
Oh God,
it's been like over a year now, I reckon. Like.
Yeah. I just realised shit they talk about. But to be, I don't know. It's like, did you get? Because it's like, you speak to Pierce, speak to Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis has the two names. You speak to Ava Ray.
He's still Adam Pearce, though, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, they do say Adam Pearce. I think I don't know why Ava Ray, just like go and speak to Ava feels like less clunky than go speak to Ava Rain.
To be fair, her name comes across as like go talk to this wrestler rather than this manager. Like. Yeah.
But it's weird. I've never noticed that because it's so used to calling her Ava and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like it's a Rain.
I guess because Rain was part of the schism. Like, I guess it's maybe why we don't really acknowledge that last name because of what Schism did.
Yeah.
As the characters, maybe, I don't know.
How about then we just how about we implement then a common surname that's like very common in the world, like Ava Johnson, you know?
No, what? That fits weirdly well.
There's nothing there to it whatsoever.
It is like you don't really when speaking of authority figures, you don't really use their full name. Nick Aldis, I think, is the exception. Exception. Yeah.
It flows well.
It's all over the place. Yeah. Plus,
Nick
Aldis. Like, you've got to learn that a bit more. People need to learn that a bit more. He hasn't been there all that long, but yeah, like. You go, oh, I'm going to speak to Ava, I'm going to speak to Santino, I'm going to speak to Pierce. Like, yeah, it just works.
Yeah. Or, of course, the full name of the anonymous Roger the Manager. That was a full name, that was.
Yeah. I say it every time. It was a dark time, man. Oh God. Well, now because obviously her dad's involved in TKO and stuff like that, I'd be very shocked if her name wasn't Ava Terramana. By the end of it.
Like it. So
But,
yeah, we're in Ava's office. She's having a meeting with Ethan Page, NXT champion. Remember that? Ethan suggests that for his actions last week, he should get suspended. But stupidly, he explains why. So instead of it coming across like he's being sneaky, he treats us all like fucking idiots. And then he looks stupid because of that.
He looks stupid.
It's like, hey, Ava,
Right.
suspend me so that way I want to win my title on Sunday. It works out. Like,
Oh, I'm not scared of Joe Hendry, but you can suspend him. So I don't want to face him. Like that just makes him look weak.
we will get to more Ethan Page skullduggery.
this was not. It was not his night.
We will get to more about his booking in NXT in particular.
But yeah, I agree. It definitely made him seem silly, weak, and like playing the cowardly champion is all fine and stuff like that, but so flippantly and so like I just don't want to be fighting anyone. It's like, no, get around it, use the sneaky, use the tricksy and stuff like that. Just go and do the thing that'll get you suspended.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just the fact that he had to explain why he wanted it suspended. Like there was no reason to mention the reasoning. Like, Ava, suspend me. I hit a referee. I assaulted a man. Like, I committed GBH. Like, just like.
Yeah,
suspend
I'm a criminal. I shouldn't have the title. I'm not being funny. If you're suspended, you're unable to defend the title at a PLE. You would get stripped of that title,
you
right?
Should. Yes, you should.
People who get injured can't do it. They get stripped of that title. People get kicked out. It made no sense, and that was a rare miss for me on Ethan Page since he started back.
I mean,
A wise man once said you can't apply logic to wrestling.
That is true. A wise man did once say that, and that wise man was, of course, Paul Heyman. So Ava.
Paul Heyman wishes.
Ava. So Ava like disregards this completely and says that he'll be doing his title on Sunday, but she needs a bit of time to sort some stuff out. What's she sorting out? What's it gonna be? Julia, Stephanie Beckett.
That tomorrow just comes in, low blows him. Yeah, odd spot. I guess I think the only thing that these segments serve to do, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, is to make Ava look like a no nonsense GM, which I'm fine with. She's doing a great job. She's done a great job since day one, in my opinion. Like, she's gotten to it so quickly, clearly took to it better than she took to... I don't want to say it like in such a derogatory, horrible way, but she took better to that than she did to the ring. Quicker, at least. Because it's probably a lot easier for her to take to speaking than it is to wrestling, because wrestling is a very, very difficult thing to get good at.
Yeah, and it makes sense that she's good on the mic because of who her father is. It makes 100%. Sense that those genes pass down to being naturally gifted at that. Like,
she's got a no-eye charisma for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to imagine it's a bit difficult. It'd be more difficult in the ring, especially for not taking to it as quickly as people. I think you should be because of your bloodline. Like, it must. Yeah, but as a GM, she's not on it. Like,
yeah,
it was smart booking, and I think I really do think that she's a great GM. We said it from the get-go. When she started, like, when she just suddenly was like, I'm going to fix everybody's problems. Me and Nick, like, GM, why not? Why not let it happen? Mm-hmm. And then, and Willie Regal passing the torch was lovely.
Yeah. Also, I've got a very small bone to pick with this segment as well, actually. Now I thought about it. Like, throughout the course of the show, and I might be wrong here, but I didn't see him at all. Where was Stevie and Stone? Like, you have Ethan Page here asking to be suspended. You can have Stevie and Stone both being like, yeah, Ava, suspend him. It's for the best of the company. Like, you can have them like bickering about Ethan Page, and then Ava's got to sort them both out as well.
Yeah, well, really.
Like, this is
Well, really.
Ethan's kind of the perfect person to have them bickering about his career or whatever. But like,
I have a feeling, based off a clip I saw, so imagine that Stone and Stevie, I think they were elsewhere on house shows.
Right.
Because, as we'll find out later, Chase U had a video segment. So there was no Thea Hale there, and Thea Hale was kicking the shit out of Stone.
fair.
so I think that was probably that might have been where they were.
Fair.
I don't know. But yeah, I just realised that, oh, you know what? I missed their going back and forth.
I'm assuming these aren't live, these segments. Like,
no, probably not.
so like, you've pre-recorded, but obviously you can't have it if they're not free or not free. But if it's pre-recorded, you could just arrange a time when they are free.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah.
Like, if it's live and they're not free, fair enough. But if it's pre-recorded and I'm assuming they don't have other places to be, like
you say though, this was a weird go home show. There was there was less energy to it than I've seen in other, like you said, the go home shows aren't always great, though I do feel there's an energy to them that was not necessarily not an energy as like people aren't excited, just urgency.
Yeah,
it felt like very slow. Like, hey guys,
there was definitely
but we're cool teachers. We're gonna do it outside.
There was less put into the matches than there was into segments.
Yeah.
I felt like there was more effort put into segments than there were matches.
Yeah. Were they kind of like building for after No Mercy, do you think?
It seems that way, yeah.
It's like, this is, we've got your big show at the weekend, we're just going to wrap up a bunch of stuff, but this is, you still need to focus on what's going on afterwards.
Yeah.
So here's some other stuff.
Yeah.
They did to an extent, but not enough.
But yeah, speaking of stuff coming up at No Mercy, we've got the face-to-face face-off thing between Wesley and Zachary Wentz. This was something. Zachary reflects on how everything breaks up, but not the Rascals, not MSK. We weren't meant to do that. Wes says they're on different levels. Seriously, spot a theme here. Zachary admits he messed up. Claims MSK were one of the greatest teams in NXT history. Calm down. Wes got to become a main event guy, whereas Zachary got to grow up and, develop character. Wes says they're on different levels. Zachary talks about how he couldn't be Wes' tag team partner, but he was always Wes' brother off screen during his time in the hospital and stuff like that. Wes says they're on different levels. For fuck's sake, Wes. Say something else.
Yeah, this went on longer than it should have done. They started repeating themselves after a while, didn't they?
Zachary's pouring his heart out here, and Wes. I know Wes. I know it's like he's playing it off as he doesn't care. He's disregarding it, like. But you can't keep saying the same stuff. Like that. That draws people away from the screen, because you're saying nothing of and nothing of note. Like, if you're gonna say nothing, just say nothing. Use your expressions. Like, don't keep saying the same line over and over again. You're not a drone, like.
Absolutely.
Also, you know what? Whereas, like, Wentz has managed to accomplish two things in TNA that you couldn't. Like, he's only different levels. Yeah, they are. Zachary Wentz is a former TNA Tag Team Champion and is the current X Division Champion.
But not at the time of the episode.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. No.
That's some good time bending there.
Like it. Yeah, this. Yeah, like I said, Wentz was pouring his heart out, and yeah, it just felt a bit. I always say that a good heel turn is when you can understand why the person did it. And right now, I can't understand why Wesley did it.
Well, Wes
other
gave
than what he's
a
been
good
saying.
speech last week about what happened and everything, and then then this week it's just face to face with Zach, and it's like nothing.
It was.
Wentz tore that argument to pieces of you weren't there for me, you weren't there for me, you left me. He didn't. As we all know, he didn't. So the whole thing of Wes blaming the Rascals or blaming Wentz specifically for leaving him, we now know he didn't. So what's your reason now?
Yeah.
Like what's your reason now?
There's dangerous territory of him getting into just being a almost petulant child about it. Like, no, not bothered. What you said, don't care what you say. Don't say what you want. Say what you want. Don't matter. Like we all felt very like he didn't care.
Like Zachary did sort of paint Wes that way as well. Like mentioning how Wes was willing to give up 3 times, and the 3rd time was what caused the Rascals to come out to stop him from doing it again. Like. And we've been
calling him out as the most emotional guy as well.
Yeah.
It's like, you're the most emotional guy ever.
Like, everyone loses matches, everyone gets injuries, whatever. Like, no one hangs the boots up after the first time. But Wes attempted to, or Wes thought about it. Then the 2nd time. And then the 3rd time. Like, he is the most melodramatic person on this roster. Like... Before I think it was before the injury that he had, he was, or maybe just after, I can't remember. He was having this weird like episode of depression where he was backstage like, I'm gonna pack up my things, I'm gonna leave NXT for good, and then he didn't. Gonna leave, and then he did it again and again, and it got to a point where it was just ridiculous. Like, grow up, man. Like, face your losses, face your disadvantages, face your whatever, like your issues head on and deal with them. Get help if you need to get help. Deal with it yourself if you don't want help. Like, don't just leave. Like,
have a clear understanding of what you're trying to do as well, because like you say, they going from, because like I said, they're making the point about him being super emotional and stuff like that, and he was clearly playing it very stone-faced, very stoic during this, trying not to give anything away.
Yeah.
The only reason for that, in my head, is that when it comes to the match, that's when you see it all, because otherwise, cutting out all the emotion entirely. Hi, boys. Cutting out all the emotion entirely is like really. There's Nikki.
Hello.
It just didn't land. It just made it made the whole thing feel a little bit more awkward. Having said that, I really liked Wentz in this. I loved Wentz in this. That was my takeaway, was that this dude, I didn't get to see that early days. I knew he was fun. For him to be allowed to kind of say, you know, I messed up, which, you know, I don't, you could say you messed up and stuff like that. There's a whole thing that goes into that. I just think Wentz came across like pure soul here.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, but what's happened to Trey? Did you just like say that like he doesn't exist anymore in the rest? I know the match is going to be those two, and that's what people want to see within NXT, because that's what NXT were used to as their relationship. But Trey was so emotional, and he was the one who got picked first, and he was a part of the Rascals, and he was there for Wentz. So why can't you use like you off with our friend to a different place kind of thing? Like, you two did that. You two, you as well, Trey. You, Trey. But he's just not there anymore.
I'm assuming.
This is my point. It's like Trey doesn't.
Oh God.
I was saying, it's like Trey isn't part of the equation anymore. Like Trey didn't. Like I said last week or week before, whatever. Trey got beat at worse. Yeah. Trey got the worst of that. It's like, oh, no, Trey's not a part of this anymore. He is very much a part of this. I think hopefully we get some No Mercy, but get to that later. But,
I am assuming that they're going to be going in the direction of Wes fights Trey after Zach. I'm assuming that's the direction for this.
hopefully in 10.
Maybe in TNA,
I
yeah.
think TNA.
I mean,
I think
TNA.
if that was to happen, it'll either be a special or just an NXT show.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I
TNA
don't think it'll be
deserve
built up.
something out of this, you know, because they're the ones who fostered Zachary and Trey and built the team, the Rascals. Like MSK is WWE property, but the Rascals isn't.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and Trey's the Rascals. Trey isn't MSK. Trey is the Rascals.
yeah,
If we are getting Trey and Wes at some point, it has to be in TNA, because this, it is the Rascals breaking up.
yeah,
This is where, like, it's not where they're formed, but it's where people knew who the Rascals were. It's the reason WWE signed Wes and Wentz,
yeah.
because what is in TNA. So yeah, it kind of needs to happen there a little bit as well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, but Zachary says, obviously, as you said already, Craig, that while Wes was on NXT, he and Trey were on TNA doing what Zach and Wes could never do, win the TNA tag belts. And then finally, Wes says something else, and I'm sure this annoyed Craig as much as it annoyed me. Wes wants Zachary to forget everything, and on Sunday he'll show Zachary why he's a WWE superstar. And then he says, and I'll show that you're just a TNA superstar, TNA wrestler, whatever. Yeah, and again, it's that TNA slur.
Yes,
That's what they're trying to do, isn't it? They're going to be building to like a Worlds Collide situation. Surely.
They have to be.
Yeah, because there's no way you can throw out barbs like that when you're doing business with that place.
You're just TNA. You know, where WWE, you're just TNA. Like, like belittling them like that.
Said, like I said, I've been saying about this NXT stuff is that I'm fed up with the nicey nice now. Like, we need more. And yeah, twice now we've had Pete Dunne calling them clowns, and now we've had Wentz saying you're just a TNA wrestler. You're just a TNA wrestler. Like, yeah, and with my soul, when I heard Wes say that with my soul, I went, "Fuck you!" Like, you were a TNA wrestler.
Wentz came back with a good one though. Who wants to see this TNA wrestler kick the ass of this WWE superstar? And everyone popped. So it's working to that degree. At least the way it was delivered is definitely like us saying this is heel.
Yeah.
Us saying you're just a TNA wrestler is naughty bad. We don't like that in the crowd. Like, boo. And then who wants to see it the reverse way? So it's landing, and it's definitely
is that
hopefully
case...
it's used as a plot point as opposed to genuine like what they're doing. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's right. You're talking first. I say spoke while you're speaking. Is it working in the case that it is for that specific wording that's used, or is it just because heel, boo, or face, yeah? Is it like the very typical face heel divide thing, or is it because actually no, TNA is actually an established company, fuck you, like for trying to belittle them like that, like, or is it a case of just, again, as I said, like, he's a heel, boo.
I think everything. So you sow the seeds, don't you? You use the not necessarily not a cheap pop, but you use the easy avenue to kind of put it in the crowd, and then that forms into what you're looking for. That forms into this ideal of so it might be a gimmick as a way to get the crowd on your side and stuff like that, but they take that and run with it because that's what fans do.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what you should be doing, like, because, like I keep saying, this has to go somewhere. This NXT stuff has to go somewhere. It can't just be, this person's over here this week. And it's interesting because NXT do not mention that their guys are on TNA. Like, Ronnie Osborne competing in Ultimate X.
That is really weird.
They do not mention that. Like, it's like they're treating it as like these guys going to the indies, but even on the even they mention Bloodsport more than they mention TNA. So like, it does frustrate me, but hopefully that is the reason, that is the point of it. We're not going to mention them because we want a reaction out of these guys. We're leading to something here. We're going to have this joint PLE of TNA versus NXT. I mean, I would like to see it as. I'd hope they do it as NXT War Games, but considering Survivor Series is War Games this year,
Yeah.
like I want War Games more than I want
Yeah.
Worlds Collide, but it's still what what is this leading to?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want something out of this other than
Yeah.
because Triple H said in a press conference that when he was asked about the stuff with TNA, said, "Well, it's basically we've got too many guys, so we can send them somewhere else to get TV time." That was what it's essentially. It's what he essentially said, and so hopefully it is just planting seeds of a eventual TNA fighting back. I don't want it to be another AEW situation where, AEW Tony Khan can say this about TNA, but don't dare say anything about AEW. It needs to be more than just nicey nice. Yeah, we're working together. We're doing these guys a favor. Essentially, that's what I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
just,
Is that as you said before though, Craig? It's like at some point we need to book a video, like record a video where we just do a World Collide, because
yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be on the horizon. Like the way things are going,
I've got my card for it. I know exactly what matches I want to see out of this.
Yeah.
But NXT needs to start sending the bigger names.
Yeah.
They need to.
Send some title holders over. Send Chase U.
Even if it's no disrespect, even if it is Kalani Jordan. Like, Kalani Jordan isn't the biggest star, but she's a current champion.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah, that's more than, again, no disrespect to anyone they sent. But even though Ronnie Osborne did well in the Ultimate X, it's still not he's getting a pop because of the Chase U music.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. So it needs to be more balanced, and it just isn't. So again, I'm hoping it's not just WWE being WWE. I'm hoping this is leading to something.
I want to believe it. I do. I just have years and years of negativity with WWE to think that it's going to be any different from what they've done in the past.
I have faith they're moving in a different, better direction.
Okay.
Just because of NXT over the last few years being me and Nick said the most consistent product for us.
Yeah.
As far as like development and listening and kind of taking things on board. I definitely see them. I'm putting most of my eggs in the basket that they're going to do something with this, because why?
Yeah.
Otherwise?
Yeah.
Why make such a deal out of it? Why bring someone like Joe Hendry, the guy who's the biggest social media star in, if you're just gonna, I don't know, poach him? I don't know. It's only good to do business for each other. And for so long, there was a monopoly on wrestling. There was a monopoly within WWE. You could only, if you were in WWE, it's WWE. That's it. It's you. No one else. No one else fucking exists.
Yeah.
This happening now, and the way that it's happening, hasn't been done for a very long time. And I think they're redoing a lot of the stuff that didn't land back in the day, that people talk about still today, i.e. Invasion. We can do Invasion again, we can do it right. It's happening with Wyatt's at the minute. Sorry, it's a tangent, but it's happening with them at the minute. They're replaying some of Bray's greatest hits and resetting the timeline. When Cena eventually comes across Uncle Howdy, he's losing. In my opinion, because they are setting a lot of stuff right. When Trips took over, a lot of the storylines that were happening then got cut, came back slowly.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they're going to make the right decision with this.
I do want to do a full in-depth thing on this, because there's so many things that's happening with this relationship, and I do want to do a full in-depth thing about it. And if you guys want to jump on, let's do it. But
it'll get moved into TNA.
Yeah.
And Nick, more so, because we are paying way more attention to it now.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
So it
if
is
you want,
working.
if you want to watch Emergence and do a review of me, you're more than welcome.
I'd love to. Like I say, we've tried with a few shows, and we really we liked some stuff, and we weren't so sure on others, and sometimes it was on in the background. So, but like recently, it's been a lot more. Oh, this person. Oh, like I did a deep dive on someone who we'll be speaking about momentarily, just yesterday because of it, and found some amazing stuff. So yeah, all the way game to add more wrestling. Oh god, that was something ridiculous, like 100 and something hours last week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I struggle to watch just NXT a week. Like,
You're a busy man, dude. Sounds like you've had a hell of a week.
I've had it for the last few weeks. It's been just me, and it's been horrible. But yeah, yeah. So, are we moving on from Wes and Zach, or are we still on that?
They're gonna have a banging match.
Yes, they are.
yeah.
Regardless of how much this segment landed or didn't land, it landed for me for Wentz, less so for Wes. But it's rare that Wes looks weak to me.
Yeah.
So I can completely get past it because I know they're going to give each other hell in the ring, and it's going to be a great match. And because they have got such wonderful chemistry, and they are so close, this is going to have some soul and some really, hopefully some really hard-hitting moments. And I'm sure if you're a fan of the Rascals, there'll be a lot of callbacks because they're that type of wrestler. They're indie wrestlers. They know what people like. They like a callback. They like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
So I might need to do some serious Rascal deep dive in today before No Mercy tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, we go backstage after this. Here's Joe Hendry. He thanks Trick Williams for the assist last week. And Trick believes in Joe Hendry. And Hendry says that if he retains the title, then Trick has got next. Basically, he'll give Trick the next shot at the title should he win it. Sorry. And that was pretty much it for that. We then move on to the next match of the night. It's Kalani Jordan against a mystery opponent. One of Wendy Chu's picking. Who will she pick? Who will it be? Will it be Carly Bright? Kendall Gray? Someone else? No! It's actually TNA veteran Rosemary! Needless to say, I knew about this already because of last week, because it was all taped this week. However, learning it's Rosemary is quite a big deal, and obviously they've had Jordan Grace over, and they've had Wesley and Trey Miguel, but Rosemary to me is the biggest name that they've had, other than Joe Hendry, come over.
Even Kazarian?
Even Kazarian. Kazarian's not much to me be honest.
Jordan Grace currently, I guess on the current state scale of things.
Yeah.
But
it's like
she's the most decorated, right?
I think Rosemary's she's probably been there longer than Jordan, I imagine.
Yeah. Rosemary's been there since about 2015, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she was champion 2017. I know that much. Like I say, I did a deep dive on someone. It was Rosemary.
Yeah. It's
hello.
We're back.
Who started the call earlier?
Me.
Do you think it's potentially yours then?
I don't know. I've got full signal. That's the thing. That's the baffling thing.
So have I. I've had full signal the entire time, even during the freezes.
Yeah, so
I might know why. I didn't put Do Not Disturb on. That might be why. I'm getting a lot of notifications coming through, so that might be why.
Maybe. So where were we?
Kalani Jordan and Rosemary.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How it makes and it makes sense when you see it. Like I didn't think for one minute, oh, we could see Rosemary and Wendy Chu involved in some way. So to actually see it, I thought it makes sense.
Yeah.
And they can do more with this. Even though it's not necessarily the same character or the same style of character. Like when Rosemary's the demon assassin, she's like her father's essentially the devil, and like you've got all this, she's got all the undead realm stuff, which if I would love to see Wendy Chu in the undead realm, that'd be very cool. But it makes sense, and even though the match wasn't,
but I'm still there. I'm like this with Kalani because I know she's got something, and how we've said before that I think she's one of those people that they put in the title on in the hopes that she makes the title and the title makes her. There's this nice relationship between the two, much like with Bron Breakker and the NXT 2.0 title. Everyone loves Kalani. It's the tagline. There's something with both me and Nick are waiting to see from her, and we just haven't necessarily seen yet. But I'm hoping for a more aggressive style. It's just a shame when this aggression is coming from spooky wookies that aren't necessarily real spooky wookies. Yeah. It's a hard storyline to put on someone, early doors when they're building a title, is to go straight into the supernatural kind of thing, or into the weird, because you've got a lot of elements and people aren't necessarily looking at you, they're looking at all the shiny sparkly or the creepy weird, the different that's around you. And I don't want it to fall into the void with that and just be a plot point within it. And said that though she is physically gifted in the ring, and Rosemary was a game opponent.
Yeah. I think as well it's really hard to build a character like Wendy Chu when you've got literally Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six on the main roster, which is a genuine spooky gimmick. Whereas, Wendy Chu in comparison is like, oh, Nightmare Girl. It's not in the same league. I don't mean it in a bad way either. Like, obviously Wendy Chu has her own thing. It's not like the Wyatt Six, but at the same time it probably shouldn't be spooky. Because everything that you do of that genre is going to get compared to what they're doing on Raw. In the same way, like you couldn't have a tribalistic group on NXT or on Raw because they're the Bloodline. Everything would get compared to that. In the same way, Cage of Agony in AEW get compared to it because they've got Toa Leona in there. It's hard to do it a similar sort of gimmick when you got something so big and so renowned. Again, the Wyatt Six are not, even though they've only been around for a few months, even maybe not even that. They're still very much talked about, and probably the most talked about thing on Raw outside of the whole Terror Twins and Judgment Day thing. So it's just I think it's just hard to build that character, and it's a similar sort of deal I imagine for Rosemary as well. But obviously she's been doing it a lot. She's doing it a lot longer.
It changes because of you've got, if you go down the realm, she came back as Courtney Rush.
Yeah.
She's done a lot. It's developed a lot more because there's been more time to do it with. They've had two different versions of Decay.
Yeah.
You've had the Death Dolls. You've had all this stuff, and it just Rosemary, from interviews and stuff and chatting with her, with Rosemary, it's very much, let's change it up a little bit because I don't want it stale.
Yeah.
And yeah, Wendy Chu, it still needs more time, but I'm liking what I've seen so far. But it all depends how this title feud goes. If she loses the title, what they do next? If she wins the title, what do they do next?
Yeah.
It's not clear. In a way, it's good, but it's also not so good because there's no obvious direction in which they can take this.
No.
So I'm intrigued, but I'm also a bit concerned.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think
This
that's
isn't
valid, yeah.
very much I think it's a having faith in the product situation now. Just like, right, please tell me this is going somewhere. I'm trusting that this is going to... It doesn't always. You know,
No.
it doesn't always land, man. And that's the beauty of NXT, is that you have this space to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And that's fine. It's when they drag it out and they keep trying to flog a dead horse, and it's like, it's not working. It's not hit that stage yet at all. It's barely out of the it's barely out the stocks. But I'm really hoping that come No Mercy, we'll see something big from both Chu and Jordan, because I love Wendy Chu. When she first started doing the sleepy gimmick, I loved it. When she changed the gear up and made it look like wrestling gear but super comfortable, it was like, like you and she had a really it was with Tiffy. They had the no DQ match with I think it was Tiffany Stratton. I can't remember. Who was that? I will find out. But she showed a very aggressive side to her, which was great. And I think this one, what she's doing now, because of the eyes and the way that she's the character is trying to do, she actually loses the ability to create certain faces. She loses the ability to express more. So, I mean, there's just something that needs kind of working on, because she's.
Yeah,
it's a lot of that. It's just a lot of the same stuff.
One-dimensional.
Yeah, it does feel like that she's lost an element of personality from her face, because she's putting so much into every other element of her personality, which is coming across. But if you look at someone like Rosemary, who during that match, or at least after the match, was like, sticking her tongue out. She was the way she was maneuvering herself around on the ground, very much at Wendy Chu's kind of like, not command, but they're clearly working together. That sold that for me perfectly, just by sneaking up into the corner in a certain way. So there's some physicality to a creepy character that you need, that I think Wendy Chu is yet to kind of put out there or have found for herself, for her type of character.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's still got his legs there. She's so talented, she's so cool, and she's very, very funny and entertaining, which usually makes for great horror. When people are very funny and very, very like thingy, they when they go dark, there is a potential they could go real in dark. So I'm very, very hopeful and having faith in the NXT system.
I mean, it's not necessarily a horror, but I always feel like Heath Ledger's Joker, or Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Very, very like dark and demented, but not horror per se, but demented personalities, that sort of add to their overall character.
What about Joker Sting then?
It's Joker Sting.
Joker Sting was a very weird time.
Which, by the way, according to Sting, was the most over gimmick he's had in the UK.
It probably was, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, the timing of it was perfect.
Yeah. To be fair. Especially with Rosemary, she's very expressive, and because but again, 22 thing is barely started. This is her first major thing going on, so it's very much a benefit of the doubt thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just whether NXT's booking has earned the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, they do get a little bit of leniency because it is developmental.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks.
You give and take, like we were talking about just before the show, with like about fans and stuff like that, and the relationship between the two. That's why NXT is so good, because the fans will let you know. Because even though, you know, if you remember back in the day of NXT, if they didn't like you, fucking turn around. It was such a sign of disrespect and stuff like that. I think my point there is, I had it. It was there and it's gone now. I hate that.
Damn you,
It so much. I had all of it. It was all there, and then it just went. No, but this is also this road you should go. Forget that one. Oh no, Coops, it's a shame, isn't it? But yeah, she will give, and if the crowd responds, she will be able to develop more. If they don't respond, does she just stay the same? Because that seems to be the way. When they don't respond, they don't really get a chance to add anything to the thing. But if they pop for something small, a slight little thing that she does, a little pick of her head, a little type of way that she throws a punch or something like that, they pop for that. She's gonna, she'll expand on that big time.
I think there's an element of they need to look at other characters who've gotten over with a similar sort of gimmick.
Yeah.
And one of my go-tos are Dexter Lumis. Like in NXT, he was unhinged. He wasn't full on, unstable, but a controlled chaos to him. It was like he would what's the word? Fixate on certain people, do a painting of them. Like if I had like their own sort of painting or something, like it was nuance.
With Dexter Lumis, it's very much that character was already doing that character when he was signed to NXT. He was doing that in TNA, Samuel Shaw, Cody Bastard, all that stuff. So he knows it can work. With Wendy Chu stuff, this is new for her. Yeah. I'm assuming. I didn't see much of her as Karen Q, but I don't think it's the same gimmick. It's very much, because we can also go the other way of you get over with a gimmick, and you get moved on too quickly. Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger is a perfect example of that, in my opinion. He got over so hard. And then because even though it is now a different regime, but you get over so hard that you have no choice but the only reason he was in the Royal Rumble because they could put him in at number 10 to get that pop. That's the only reason they did it. He wasn't ready, so it's figuring out and giving it time. It needs time, but there's a lot to like of what you can see currently. It's just build it, and having Rosemary there I hope she talked to Rosemary about making stuff like this work, because it can work.
Yeah.
And that's it. Send her there so she can learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see what works with a crowd in a live audience setting and a live studio setting, and see, work, like you say, learn from Rosemary, someone who is so ingrained in this kind of style of character building and world building. She's clearly got a big imagination to kind of go down this route. So, learn from. That's where the relationship between the two companies should work. And I'd like to say, for someone who's the spookiest kind of like thing I've seen is Abaddon in AEW, and when she came out, I was like immediate Abaddon vibes. But I knew it wasn't going to be the same situation.
Yeah.
You can just, you can tell. But going back, it's like, I think Rosemary was one of the first people to do this. Like this, in like
this level, I think so.
Yeah. Just to bring the freak, on such a level for women wrestling as well. again,
Yeah,
I'm still learning. But it's very cool that she was there.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Shelly Martinez, but that wasn't really the same. Like they tried to make her a vampire, and that was about it.
Oh no, that's Kevin Thorne and what's her name, Ariel.
Yeah. God, Kevin Thorne, was it Malachi? No, that was another guy.
No, Kevin Thorne's Mordecai, isn't it?
Mordecai was it?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I miss Mordecai. Mordecai was so good. Like they allegedly they had plans to do him and Taker, which is like, oh, why didn't they do that? Like, I think Kevin Thorne had some issues. I don't know entirely what the issue was, but I think there was something to it as to why they didn't do it.
It can literally be anything. It's wrestling.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like,
Very true. But yeah, with this match, because I still didn't give my rating at all on this. So Kalani won with the split leg moonsault, and I rated 2.25. It felt kind of weird for me to see Rosemary being thrown to the wolves here, because it's how it felt. It wasn't a squash match, but it was a short match that we all knew Kalani was winning. So I was surprised to see a big name like Rosemary get sort of thrown into this, sort of thrown away. It was okay though. It was nothing special, but I will say I did like the way Rosemary wrestled and the way she carried herself in this match. It was a very erratic style of wrestling. It wasn't so much as it wasn't composed, or it was composed, but it wasn't traditionally composed. It was very much a case of, oh, I'm going to get you in this position and then I'll run at you. There was like a spot, I think, where Kalani does attempts a springboard, I can't remember the word. Handspring, thank you. Yeah, she does a handspring something, and like Rosemary just spears her against the ropes.
yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool. Like, no one does that. I'm like,
the pressure that she put on her, the speed at which she comes. If something runs at you with a scary face, like a spider crawls at me, I shit myself. Like, I am definitely afraid. It's the same vibe. Like, she's not used to that type of person. She's used to the NXT girls, you know. Like, they look like, yeah, not your standard wrestler, but they look like, you know, wrestlers. But if you got someone with them and I go running at you, it's a pressure that you're not used to, and
Absolutely.
To throw Kalani into that is cool, because she gets to give her more face, more emotion. She came in doing a promo that was aggressive, and then she, you know, I'm going to stand up for myself. You want to do this? Let's do this. Who have you got? And then she comes out, she's like, okay, maybe I need to be smarter about this now. Maybe I need to be darker. Maybe I need to be more aggressive. Hope she'll learn. Again, it's all part of having being that learning champion.
yeah, absolutely. After this, we go backstage. It's Metaphor. They lament over their loss earlier. And we get a new potential catchphrase in Nobody Better Than Meta.
You love it. You love it. You love it.
But of course, nothing good lasts forever. And in comes the vacuum to suck the soul out of the segment. It's Lexis King.
Feel it. No, I agree. This exciting segment. Sorry, do go on. I won't stop.
Lexis says that Lash and Jakara don't care about sob stories and not about Oro's father. About how Noam Dar was sort of the father figure of Metaphor, which I sort of see. Oro retorts by saying that Lexis lacks a father figure, which prompts Lexis King to slap him, and then we get into a scrap, which is then broken up.
Finally, they are making a point about Lexis King's father. We said this the other week. That was our whole things, what was the point? And now they're bringing it up. And Cooper agrees it is a very important thing to do, because now I'm hoping it's gonna give him some actual story and actual aggression. And Oro, recent weeks since Noam has been injured and stuff, I'm glad to see he's kind of getting over more with me personally. The whole Ethan Page thing was cool. Cooper, it was brilliant, wasn't he? And him and Alexis, I think, will be able to go really well together. But Alexis finally accepting the whole not for him to acknowledge his father.
Yeah.
For people to push him to that place, I think is what's going to bring out something a little bit. Maybe we start to see the beard going a little bit more, less sharp. Maybe his hair gets a little bit shorter or something else happens. Maybe we can finally start doing something with Lexus King that isn't what we've been doing, and I can be happy.
Yeah. And maybe we can finally ditch that weird throne.
Oh, no, the throne's eternal. He's always got to, Shawn Michaels gives him a push, kicks him off the thing, or he just gives a little run and jump.
The thing is, I was fine with it before to an extent. Now I can't picture it without the Shawn Michaels graphic.
Yeah.
In my head, it's just, he super kicks the fucking chair from backstage and just slides across the...
We know when he's finally come full circle on him as a character, when he's confident enough, when he doesn't need to rely on such a thing, those things like that.
Yeah, like Shawn just kicking the chair
one day. Yeah, Shawn kicking the chair out, him doing a slip and slide and a rolly flip onto the chair, smooth. But he's gonna come out one day without it, and that's the day that he means business. I'm hoping, legit, cute, the gimmicks, everything.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I am Brian Pillman Jr. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe this is an opportunity to make something happen. Sorry, Craig.
I was just saying, I don't think they'll go that far. I think they have to acknowledge it because everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't know, then you can find out easily enough.
Very true.
Mm.
But the throne irritates me. It does. It looked cool. For PLE, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
It's just time. And the segment was fine. The character definitely needed the reminder of. Definitely needed that impact of mentioning Brian Pillman or just referencing him.
Yeah.
Hopefully you do see more of it, and hopefully he rubs that beard off. Okay, yeah. I'm cool. As long as it doesn't go out, I'm fine.
I think we're getting closer to them acknowledging it, properly. Because when he debuted in NXT, it was he's not. I've got no father. You know, I was raised by this guy called King, whatever his name was. I don't remember what name he gave, but it's I am Lexus King. I am not him. You know, and now a mention of a father figure is now causing him to snap.
Yeah.
So I think they're leaning more into it, and I hope they go down the route of him going back to being, even if he's still Lexus King. Just embrace more of being the loose cannon, you know, or being the loose cannonball or something. I don't know.
Because it's clearly a part of his identity, even if he's choosing not to. Because the person that he went after was somebody who did a story about fathers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we don't care about your sub stories and stuff like that. We don't care about your father. No one wants to hear it.
Yeah. But
why would that be the thing you go over for?
But as soon as his own father's mentioned,
exactly. So it's clearly still a sore point for his for Lexus King as a character kind of thing. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. It's whatever he's been doing, he's done.
Yeah, and I do want to say maybe it's in its old age now, the Lexus King gimmick, because. It's I don't know. Thinking on this and thinking back through the last couple of weeks, he's been arguing with Eddie Forbes over music and DJing. It's you youngster playing your DJ sets, you're about the American rock music. It's
remember rock music? John remembers.
I think to that. I think to that extent, it's a metaphor. Not the group. I mean, the literary. Metaphor for that gimmick dying of old age, maybe, or something like that. But and then eventually he'll transition into more of the loose cannon, and officially embrace being Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
Because he should, because he looks like him. He looks like his dad. Like, like he didn't
His
even
biggest
he
storyline.
didn't even dye his
AEW.
hair. Like,
Yeah.
he's still
It's
blonde.
just him.
Literally in a group called the Varsity Blondes.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
part of the dynasty.
Yeah, it was his whole thing. The biggest pop and the biggest moment for him in AEW was when MJF was doing the whole thing with him and his family.
Yeah.
Like and I completely respect 100% trying to get away with that, as far as both just him as a wrestler and for a story, someone trying to get away with it. It's a good story, someone trying to bury their past and bury, their heritage and stuff like that, because that's all they're known for. Because that was what he would say. That's what he was saying in the thing. It's like, you think you know who I am just because you knew some guy from the 80s and 90s kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't know who I am. Like, you don't know my story. He's done that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His entrance music, My Way, My Life, or something. My Way, My Rules, something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
My way.
yeah, like, clearly what he's trying to do, but at the same time, it's WWE, they will have to bring it up at some point. They do it all the time.
Absolutely.
He was too important to their history, Brian Pillman. Like, to what they became. And for wrestling as a whole. On
Pillman
telly.
was around during like the genesis of the Attitude Era, which is arguably one of their biggest eras. Like,
he was a catalyst.
Yeah.
Within that, he was one of the things. Brian's got a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's so important to wrestling history, as far as like telling stories and what you can do. Like, oh my god, moments. They were literally people back in the day calling the police and stuff like that. It's huge.
And even though it ultimately led to nothing, because I think it was either not a real gun, or it was like, I think like he missed a shot or something. I don't know, but like I don't remember the full outcome of that storyline. But that in itself just lended itself to what we know as history. Like it's a very historical moment, and because of moments like that, and like despite his takes, like Val Venus and the fucking Kai guy, like that's also a big moment. Like, whether it's the hilarity of it, like it's still a big moment. Yeah. Like people still remember it.
Like, I mean, I was maybe 2-3 years old at those points, and I know about them.
Yeah.
Like, it just happened. Like, if you're a wrestling fan, you just know the history because it's a big moment.
Yeah.
And for Dexter's King to finally acknowledge that part of his life on WTV is huge.
Yeah.
Because of how huge Pillman was. Yeah, more so WCW, but in WWE, that's just unfortunate of what was going through at that point. So yeah, I think it needs to happen. Mm-hmm. We've had this character long enough. He's a bit weird.
Yeah.
So now maybe it's time to change it up a little bit and realize who he is, or where he comes from.
There's a reason he seems lost.
Yeah. He needs Sean Spears.
It could play. This whole side of him, like, he could play into I didn't have a father figure. And this whole reason he's a knobhead is because of that. He can play into that very well. So
absolutely.
And then maybe I can actually, maybe it won't be go away heat. It'll just be heat.
Yeah, true. So another thought I just had as well was, who's currently under a Legends contract that has a connection to WWE still, that they could use on a random NXT episode to encounter Lexus King?
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah. Like, having the other Hollywood blonde, because he's still alive, like,
comes in, gives him a talking to.
Yeah.
At the end of a heel run situation, though.
Yeah.
I think he comes in, reminds him, it's like, no, this, and then then he comes back full Brian, not face, not heel, just anti.
He could
just crazy chaos.
Legitimately, could be another a new Austin. Like in the way Austin caused chaos, but obviously do it in a way that's in the modern era. But
he's not getting over that now.
No, but he's got potential. Let's say he does. Like in AW, he wasn't a bad wrestler. He's got chops. He can wrestle. But for some reason in NXT, he's just not been showing it.
He showed a lot of promise in MLW too.
Yeah.
He can. This gimmick's not it. It's not it.
This is what I'm saying. There's something there. There's something to him. There's some, this is the goofy.
Keep building it.
You love it. You just can't get over it. Or just goes, oh, you love it. You love it. It was so fun. Yeah, I like I say, like I was saying the other week, time will tell on Lexus King, man. And I genuinely like some of the stuff he does outside of the ring. I know he's got chops inside the ring. I'm just not seeing the stories being told in his matches because I don't believe this character. As far as I just don't. I don't know. I'm waiting for something else from him, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens with it. God damn it.
You know what? If there's anyone in need of lectual healing, it's Lexus himself. You know, he needs some self.
Sorry, say again.
He needs some lectual healing.
He does. I didn't have my sign today. I was gonna write a new Lex sign. I got my card and everything, but I couldn't find a pen. I couldn't think of something to say. So we'll see what happens with him over the course of the next couple of weeks.
He needs some self-love.
He does. I was just in the back getting myself some lectural healing, and I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I was a bit harsh on you there, Oro. Let's be friends.
Yeah. But that does bring up another point as well that we won't go too much into because there'll be another tangent. But when Dark comes back for Metaphor and how will that dynamic be, you know? Because Oro's they've all sort of developed into their own sort of people, you know. Whereas before it was Noam and his lackeys, whereas now it's more Oro, Lash, and Chikara. Like they're all their own people, sort of thing now. So when Noam comes back, how will it be?
Oh, yeah, developed it very well. I think they needed. Not how it happened, but I think they needed a little bit of time without Noam, because Noam was clearly the leader of that group. So they needed this. It's shit how it happened like this.
Yeah.
But it's something the group needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing with wrestling, though, is it when someone gets injured, usually someone's able to they're able to pivot well, and you see something that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten a chance to see.
Yeah.
Necessarily, and this relationship between the three of them, Oro kind of being like, he's not a protector, but he's like, he'll call people out, and they're like, we don't need you to do that, and he'd be like, yeah, no, I know you don't. He knows his girls are like, they're nails as fuck and stuff like that. He will chime in when it gets too much, kind of thing, so that you can create a match. That's all it's there for. Noam's such a huge personality that I didn't really think about Oro until this whole Ethan Page thing, and that was recent. Yeah,
like this is the thing. Oro was always the backup guy for Noam. It was like, if you want to face Noam, get through Oro first. And it was always like Oro would just lose all the time. It was like, Oro, what you doing, man? Like. And then, move on to the Noam match, which is ultimately the one that people remember more. Because Noam is, for all intents and purposes, a better wrestler. In general. But obviously Oro's improved with time while Noam's been off. So,
Noam's been around longer.
Yeah.
Noam's been through it all. He's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
Go all the way back to Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
Discord's cut out.
He stopped. Broke Discord.
Hello, guys, we're here. Hello. But yeah, after this, we get a vignette with Chase U, and it starts off with the students chanting, "You." And, it's like me.
Okay.
Riley and Duke are sorry they couldn't get the job done last week, beating Fraxium. Ridge talks about himself again and how he never thought he'd join another group. Chase U took him with open arms. They fucking didn't. I think Ridge is just completely forgetting about effing Riley and Duke not accepting him. And even Andre to an extent, like.
Yeah. They gave him a second chance. They definitely did that. But they didn't welcome him with open arms.
No, they really didn't. He does says whatever it takes. And then, something very interesting to me. He said, as long as we have these tag belts, I'll have your backs. Which indicates to me that he's only in for the title. Not for the family or familial connection, whatever. But he joined Chase U to get gold. And that's his only purpose.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's heading that way. I feel like it's heading that way.
It's just the wording. And obviously it might be a dialect thing because he's Welsh and whatever, but like...
Well, Yorkshire.
Yeah, he's Yorkshire.
Is he not Welsh? I thought he was Welsh.
No, he's proper Yorkshire.
Is he not Welsh? All this time I thought he was Welsh. God damn it. Okay,
Rich Holland from the valleys.
It's an up north thing then.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Is it a north-south divide situation here?
Yeah. Because
it's basically
obviously I'm in London, so F was up north for me. So
yeah, that's fair.
If anything, I'm down south for you guys. So like,
he's from top north.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, sorry. So he does say that line. Ivory says this. In come Fraxium. Nathan remembers being the flag bearer for Chase U. Axiom then says they have more running to do, and Nathan says that while nobody doesn't love Chase U, when they win on Sunday, Chase U will come crumbling down. And I don't know what happened. I think I must have zoned out or something, because my next note was, did Victor just say Fraxium?
Yes.
And I was like, did he say Fraxium or just imagining it? Because I rewinded it and I couldn't hear it. So
someone said Fraxium, and I thought Riley said it.
It might have been. I don't fully recall who it was, but I remember hearing someone saying Fraxium, and I was like, someone is watching this show. They have to be watching this show. There's just too many coincidences now.
They definitely said Fraxium.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone did say it either this week or last week. Someone said Fraxium. I'm pretty sure it was either Riley Osborne or Vic.
Yeah, because I said it a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, whenever it was, when I first started saying it. And I remember at the time thinking, I know no one else is saying this. Or if it's some sort of other podcast or something, I'm not hearing them say it. And I remember thinking, like, they have to be watching this show. Like, no one else in the space is saying Fraxium.
No.
It's like, it's just on this podcast. Like, it's I think it's a pretty simple name to come up with, but
yeah, like going off the odds, there's a good chance someone from NXT has at least seen this.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I know for a fact someone from TNA watches my show.
Yeah.
So like, it's a good chance someone does. Like, they have to know what people are saying about it.
Yeah, and also it's, you know, I think it's something that Nikki and Mike both say as well. Like, not a lot of coverage for NXT. especially across the
Not
pond.
weekly basis.
Especially across the pond as well. Like you have some American reviewers and stuff, but you don't really get British reviewers for NXT stuff.
Not on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say I've just seen on Nathan Fraser's Instagram account
No.
the argument between the two when they're champs, and it was when he was doing the speed stuff before Axiom was doing it, and it was those initial things. He's put Fraxium as fine.
No.
Yeah, just a heads up.
So,
but I'd never heard it until you said it.
Yeah.
And both me and Nick were like,
so I think the only logical explanation for this is Nathan watches the show. Because
Nathan's been
we're
inside
fellow
your mind,
Brits.
man.
We're fellow Brits, you know?
He knows what's up.
Exactly. So he watches the show, fellow Brits, you know, from his home country. He's like him and his amigo. He says it in the most English way possible as well. Like
He really does. He's a little bit off, kind of saying "poor favor."
Yeah. It's just like him saying, "Oh, I'm hooking up with my amigo."
Oh, I'm gutted. I really am, because all I was looking for was to hear. I was trying to see if I could find the clip of someone saying it on this week's NXT,
Yeah.
and I've just come across of that, which is a damn shame.
I mean, for all we
but
know, he updated it like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. You know, we don't know.
It says edited.
So
It was edited. It was edited.
So there we go.
Phrases are
Confirmation.
Sure.
He watches the show. Thank you, Nathan, for your patronage.
Definitely does. It is wild to think that because a lot of the stuff that you've said over the last 8 shows, I think I've been watching since about 8 ago. It's literally these things some of these things are happening, and it's this off-color comments, not off-color, off kind of off-the-cuff comments.
Yeah.
Lead it, and then something happens. So what is in the ether that makes those things happen?
Yeah.
Because they happen to us all the time. We're like, I swear to God, you're a witch. Something like she called like all sorts from back in the day. Solo Sikoa, before he was part of the bloodline, she called him doing that, like doing what he's done. It was like, like what the hell? There's something. Some people just have that knack.
Yeah.
You got it. So.
I'm just saying, if Stone Cold turns up at some point to confront Nexus King,
they owe you a check.
It's a win. That is a win.
IP infringement.
It makes so much logical sense. Like, it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
You get Stone Cold at NXT, you get ratings up, and you also help Nexus King develop his character, which hasn't been the best quality so far.
But also, it's vindication, you know, that I know someone's watching the show.
Fuck it, Sean.
That's right, Shawn Michaels. He probably doesn't even know what
God
podcast
damn it,
is.
Rain.
In all honesty.
Damn it, Rain, listen.
But no, that was fun. Up next, we have something that wasn't so fun. We had Manic Blade and Brooks Jensen. Brooks wins with a top rope elbow. I rated it 2 stars. I guess he got revenge for his mentor, Sean Spears. I don't really have much else to say about it. Brooks seems to be dropping the more insane stuff for his moveset, and it seems to working out for him. It's safer, I guess. So hopefully that was better for him. But the match was ultimately a bit of nothing.
Squash.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nothing more.
It's a shame as well, because I mean, it solidifies Malik Blade as a tag team wrestler within NXT. This is what we think of. This is Malik for us. He's a tag team guy, because he wasn't. I mean, he came out fast. I'm pretty sure he came just like with a dive straight away before he even made it into the ring. He really gave it to him, but Jensen immediately flipped him over and just at his way kind of thing. I was a bit gutted for Malik Blade. I really like Malik.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who low key has developed big, like in a huge way. Not just in ring ability, but on camera and character.
Yeah.
So it was a shame, but it drove the story along. It was essentially a segment with a wrestling match.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little heartbroken by all this because Malik and Edges are my boys, and they've been my boys for a while. Seeing them with Brindley week in, week out made my day. Like, I loved the trio of them, and it just seems like everything has sort of faded away. Like, Brindley's separated herself. She's now hanging out with Carmen, or Carly, or Kendall, or insert another name with a C or a K. And then you got Edris and Malik who are teaming still, but it's not the same anymore because they're just a run-the-mill tag team now because there's nothing else to them. It's like with Brindley,
they had that
energy with Brindley because she was like this over-the-top, bubbly, exercise, fitness, and they were like, "Oh, come on, have we got to?" And then she was like, "Yeah, come on, you'll enjoy it." And after that, she went away, and now they've just sort of gone back to being, "Hey, how you doing?" Yeah,
just there.
Yeah. It's a shame for me because I just really like Edris and Malik.
I mean,
last week. Sorry, go on, Craig.
I was just gonna say. I mean, I think I've literally seen it. Those as a tag team maybe 3 times since I've been watching NXT, and pretty sure it lasted about less than 10 minutes.
They had a real decent push for a minute. There was this thing where it seemed like they were making a point of their tag division when they were, but instead of necessarily having tag matches, it was like, how do you guys know you're a good tag team? And it started with Hank and Tank. So, well, we wrestled each other. We fought each other, and that was how we kind of got to it. And then they had that whole thing. Then Malik and Edris, they took on a little extra step, and there was a weird push. And then they had Brindley Reese, and out of nowhere though, when that happened, Idris Elba,
I'm John Luther.
I'm so Idris.
DCI Luther, your service.
Idris Inofe. So this is what I do with names, man. This is why I give them nicknames like Juicy Lucy.
I need set crossover.
Sorry?
I need to see Idris Inofe and Luther. I need to see Idris Elba.
Oh my god. You're just kind of looking at him like...
Idris Elba! This is a shout out to you. Get on the podcast.
Who's the one who's been watching, man?
Imagine the scenes. It was just like I had Elba on the side, just ready to jump in the cords. Like,
but Inofe, he was the positive one. He was the go-getter and stuff like that. But it wasn't like a transition. It was just Brindley came in. He was like, "Who's this crazy white girl? Because she's bonkers. He's really got a lot of energy." But his energy just went away. It's like she sucked it out of him.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really. It was a strange time. I wasn't kind of understanding what they were doing.
I felt like they were gonna all eventually. It'll be like he's sort of down on her now, but he'll come around.
Yeah.
So it's sort of it's sort of like
really.
when you get a family pet or something, and then like someone in the family is not a fan of that pet to begin with. Over time, though, as the pet's growing up and hanging around the family more, that person becomes the most attached to that pet.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was that sort of thing. I reckon it was like Edris would be eventually on board, like more than Malik was with Brindley. And I think it was just, and also there's that build as well. They had with the luck thing. It was like he was scared about having bad luck with things, and then they had the losing streak. And
what's happened to that?
I mean,
what's happened there? What's happened with that?
They're still losing.
Is it still going on? Like
it's this weird underlying story that they just seem to constantly come back to every now and then. Apparently, I don't understand it.
It's weird. But if it's bad luck, sure you would have been beaten up by Spears if it were on the bad luck. It wouldn't gone that way.
Last week when they attacked Spears, right?
Yeah.
That angle, that whole setup felt so dark because it was like just screaming, no. You can't really see what's happening, and you just see the movements. You see the like through the kind of the racks of the chairs or whatever they were, the racks that they were behind. I was like, this dark. I like it.
Yeah.
Edgy. And then this week it was just that. But like you say, it's No Mercy. Keep focused mostly on that, but throw out a little taster for maybe next week, so you keep coming back for more story. But this didn't hit hard enough for me.
No.
Sadly, I gave it a 2. The action was good. It was just fast.
Yeah, it was weird. It was kind of like it didn't get a chance to get going, and exactly you said though, it was a squash for Brooks. It was Malik got the early offense in before the bell rang, and then after the bell rang, it was like, okay, cool. Now it's Brooks' turn to do something, and it just fell flat for me.
Yeah.
So I like Brooks and I like Malik. It's just this match in particular didn't do anything because Brooks is associated with Shawn Spears, who ultimately also does nothing for me.
I mean,
I'll give it time.
What's Bruce gonna do when he gets back from Japan? I wonder.
Yeah, very true.
Hopefully, some decent horse matches coming our way.
Yeah, I mean, I assume we're gonna get a reunion of Briggs and Brooks
somewhere down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
But like,
out of this,
as heels.
Shawn Spears.
Oh no, I meant as heels.
Or do you think he'll join and with Shawn Spears, or do you think they'll separate from him?
Well, I think there'll be a trio for a bit and then break away from Shawn.
Don't hate it. Because before he left, he was having the same kind of like weird crisis of identity and stuff like that, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's saying it's not necessarily worked out the way that I thought it would, but I've got to rebuild.
Yeah. Fair enough, yeah.
Why not?
Why not, indeed?
I like it. I really like that, actually. I want to see a heel Brooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think it could be good, but we'll see, I guess. We get, up next, an interview with Javon Evans. He's strutting around backstage like Shawn Michaels. And I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, you're not old enough to even have seen Shawn Michaels. Like, am I the only one who saw that? Like, him strutting around like Shawn Michaels, or am I just inferring too much into it?
I mean, it looked to me like it was like a Conor McGregor strut.
I don't
quite remember him. Is this him walking out to his match?
No, this is the interview with Sarah Schreiber.
I can't quite remember it, you know. So
he's coming through a corridor and then he's accosted by Sarah.
Yeah.
For the interview.
He just fucking laughs. Pops him on the head with the microphone.
Basically, Javon's ready for Gas and Joe Coffey. That's the brunt of it, really. Backstage, it's everyone's favourite Hank and Tank. They're here. The question is, though, do they believe in Joe Hendry? To which Tank got an answer. He got 2 words for them. I love that so much.
Always fun.
Yeah.
These dudes.
Speaking of not fun, though, in comes OTM. They insult Hank and Tank. Barbs are exchanged, which result in OTM threatening to eliminate them. Don't know when, assuming next week.
Yeah.
And hopefully Hank and Tank win. Hopefully they win, Hank and Tank.
I think they will. I think that's. I think they're on a bit of a fit. People love Hank and Tank, and NXT is a place for the local, the local fans, the people who watch every week, kind of thing, and they love Hank and Tank. So they're just going to do more of them because they've been succeeding. They've been very successful recently.
Yeah.
But OTM, leaps and bounds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think as far as their presentation and their ability to speak, big time. And like we said last time we were here, I think a lot of that is because of Jada.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I reckon if Hank and Tank win this, they have to be the ones next in line for a tag title shot. Not necessarily PLE,
Yeah, absolutely.
but as a contender, just
And they win the tag titles. Yeah.
Imagine.
I wouldn't hate that.
No,
I would not hate
No, I
it.
wouldn't either.
Why not? Why not? They've been around for a while now. When Hank got brought in, was he NIL? Hank.
Yeah.
One. I think they both are. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because he was the security guy. They called Javier, Big Body Javier prick, and that was it. Like it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But they've been around for a while. I think they've shown that they can go. They've shown they like to go big hoss match as well. Why not give them the titles, man?
Yeah.
It could be fun.
And let's speed up the whole process of Chase U and Ridge Holland turning, and have Ridge Holland turn in a title match, and let Hank Tank win titles. At this rate, I'm more of a Hank Tanker than I am of Chase U in this year. So I don't know.
Gonna do it.
I mean, I'd buy a shirt of Hank and Tank, like if they're available. Because I don't think they've got any merch yet, which is a shame. But
Hank's got the most comfortable looking polos I've ever seen.
Yeah, he does.
Don't they look proper? Like just
I wear polos for work, so I would happily wear a polo that he has.
Oh yeah, all the way. That'll be a good match next week.
Yeah, should be.
That'll
Absolutely.
be a good match.
Let's go.
So we go on to the main event.
Just seen the clip you were talking about, by the way, about Javon backstage.
Yeah.
And they kind of bouncing.
Yeah. That is Shawn Michaels, that's right. Yeah.
Esque. Very, very esque.
Yeah. It's like I don't get this kid. Honestly, I don't get him.
There's a reason why he's so good, man, because he gets it. If he gets it, he's fixated on it. He's He's found the history. He loves this.
Yeah,
he really loves this. He knows. And to be in NXT and to be around Shawn. Sorry.
Living his dream.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So doesn't shock me that he would be a Shawn Michaels fan when he's one of the names as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's what, 21?
No, he's like 19 or 20, isn't he? Yeah, 20.
Shit, yeah. He's 20 years old. That's mad.
Like he turned 20 quite recently as well. Like,
yeah, he was.
It's insane. Like, he competed in the main event with PLE at 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's going places.
At 19 years old, I was. What did I do at 19 years old? Jesus. I was a receptionist.
I think I was just a film student stoner in uni.
I think I was working at the range.
Yeah.
Just stacking shelves.
Nice.
Wild.
Evans.
This kid,
That's
man.
why they call it generational talents.
I'm also more a fan of his because he didn't come through NIL.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the main thing because NIL is like a handout program.
You're chosen.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you've got a background in basketball or in football or in soccer or whatever. Like,
You got this many followers.
yeah, exactly. Like, he was an indie wrestler, Javon Evans. Like, he was, what was it? Jay Malachi, that's what it was. And he was great as Jay Malachi. Like, I was a fan of him then, I'm a fan of him now. But I don't know what it is. I've got a natural disdain, I guess, for NIL people. Compared
what
to
it represented was
in the indie guys. So go on.
If you remember what it represented a time when phrases like "no short white dudes," "no white midgets" was the phrase. I believe that was put out when they were initially thinking, it represented a real time of change for NXT as well, and not necessarily at the time a good one until Vince backed the F off, and then they were able to do what they needed to do, and these kids who have natural talent got to actually do something with it, and they weren't just being used as toys in this maniacal, crazy fool's games.
Yeah.
But initially, I was the same. I had this weird, like unfair, not disdain, but like a judgment of the NL. It's like, you're not a real fan.
But yeah.
You've been offered a check and stuff, kind of thing. But
that's the issue, is that these guys, they haven't paid their dues in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't gone to community centres or
bingo halls. Yeah.
And
they
got 20 quid for
they fought for the hot dog, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot dog and handshake. Yeah, they haven't done all that. But at the same time, it can be a good thing. It's just whether it's all about the mentality of these people. If they actually want to do it and have been a fan, but that's most important. If you're a fan, then you've got a bit more lenient. But if you're just there because you can get $1 million, like, then you're not right reasons.
Okay,
do it for the right reasons.
To your point, though, if you're a fan, right, like Tony Khan, for example, he's a big old fan of wrestling, but he couldn't be a wrestler.
No, so he makes the wrestling happen. That's what it is. It's yeah. That's why people who are booking it maybe shouldn't always be the wrestlers.
Yeah, very true.
Because you got the fan, but that's also you need more. You need more people on your team to make it work. Because when it was just him, things were getting a bit Vince Russo, a bit weird.
I think it is still him, isn't it? Isn't it still him?
No, I think I think he's I think AEW booking is really grand at the minute. I think
it's gone better. Yeah.
If you look between a year, it's definitely grown, and it's definitely gotten better than it was. I'm pretty positive on everything as far as wrestling goes. There's very few things that make me go, "This is bollocks." Like, even on today's show, even on the show we've been talking about, kind of thing, I still enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite show ever. There was some low points, there was some good points, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've always been able to do that with AEW, but there's been a noticeable boost in like kind of the quality of storytelling, and it is because more people are involved and the right people are involved, I think. Because, like, say, when it's just TK, yeah, he is a fan, but he's also, he's listening to people, he's seeing different things. Like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. It's like, you kind of need to think. You need to think where these things are going. Don't just do it for the pop. It's not a world of pops always. Pops matter. Yeah. But it's also a world of storytelling.
I know it's an AEW thing, but he's genuinely the reason I cannot watch that show. Yeah. He is the reason I cannot watch it.
Well, Tony?
Tony Khan is the reason I cannot watch AEW. Tried, and he just won't shut up. Just shut up once.
We got a great show for you.
I do not like the bloke.
But yeah, sorry. So back to the topic of Javon Evans. So, main event is Javon Evans and Joe Coffey. And Joe wins with the All the Best for the Bells spinning lariat. I rated this 3.5 stars. I like this. The clash of styles worked. Javon's high-flying, risk-taking, death-defying, whatever, compared to Joe's safe but hard-hitting style. Of course, the numbers game did help out Gallus in the end here. But, good match. It will lead to more in the future between these two, and Javon getting back up, I'm assuming, for Gallus. In the form of hand contact, maybe. But, I don't know. Right now, I enjoyed this match for what it was. I don't know what it will lead to, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is it going?
It's a weird one.
It was a good match, and there's a lot of kickouts that I didn't expect him. It felt like a proper black and gold style match. I really enjoyed it, but where's it going?
Don't know. I don't know. And that's that's the best thing about it, is that we can't be sure where it's going. It's not in black and white, everything, you know? Like, it's... Like, what exactly is going to happen next, we don't necessarily know. Like, we know Javon has friends, in Trick, or Hendry even, or whatever. But, who will back him up against Gallus? Because everyone else is busy doing their own thing.
Yeah. It is a weird one, considering, like, of what everyone else is doing, who could plausibly back him up. Like, where do you go with it? But at the same time, it was, I mean, yeah, it was a very good match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. If I'm honest, it was a good match, but nothing really sticks out other than the outside interference from Gallus, which is what you get in every match they have.
Yeah.
Like, why Javon will go to their corners beyond me anyway? Like, you know, at a certain point, they're standing right there. You know they are. Go on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the middle of the ring. You've got 4 corners to choose from, and you choose them when they are.
Mm.
But yeah, backup wise, I know what I want. I always said the match I want to see with this whole NXT and anything. But I wouldn't mind a group of them either.
Yeah.
Javon, Leon Slater, and Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
the 3 I want to see.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Like in a triple threat, I want to see that match.
Leon Slater going from Brit Rest, spears out of TNA, and then with the space of a year also appearing in WWE would be fucking insane.
Astronomical. Like, rise as far as
I
like.
mean, I don't know what's happened with Leon at the minute. He hasn't been on TNA. I think it's because of the Microsoft going down and all the thing going down. He hasn't been around.
Yeah.
You know, the internet, like, just shutting down. I think that's why he hasn't been around. But last time I saw him was when he. To be fair, last time we saw him, he got jumped by Charlie Dempsey.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
So,
he's been on Brit Rest over the last weekend and so.
Progress last week and
I think he's currently in Germany randomly.
Yeah, he's there for their show today.
Yeah,
but
which starts in 40 minutes actually.
Ah, nice.
But Leon is in the promo package for Bound for Glory, so hopefully there's more to come.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed.
If you said it, if his last interaction was with Charlie Dempsey, there's a good chance we get Leon Slater in WWE or NXT at least, you know, like whatever. But
Kevin Knight was an interesting addition to those 2 names then, and that's something I would really like to see. Kevin Knight did a great job at the Super Juniors this year.
Yeah, he did.
Go if you can, go and watch Kevin Knight versus Moose from TNA a few months ago.
You know, I'll do it right now.
TV.
I'll do it right now. Put it on stream.
Watch Kevin Knight versus Moose. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
This TV match was great.
Yeah. I'll take that one out.
Absolutely, yeah. Before we continue, I can't help but stare at the dog.
Sorry, do you want me to?
No, he's alright.
You are the main attraction, young man.
Ah,
there you go. Yeah, hey buddy, that's Coops. He actually really genuinely enjoys certain wrestlers' intros. He'll stop. He stops for it's the bumpy one.
I assume he likes Bob Breakers.
No. Not his old one, not his new one, nothing. No, he really likes he likes Bussey's music. That's really a weird one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
He's kind of nice.
He might like Martinez too, then. In that case.
Oh yeah. Oh no, he loves a beat.
Yeah.
Don't you, man? But yeah, sorry about him.
That's alright. No, honestly, it's all welcome. It's just I love animals in general, so like my eyes just by naturally sort of shift to them, just like.
This is why we usually record when me and Nick do any kind of records. We usually do it at the towards the end of the day because I've been able to take him out and knacker him. Yeah, because he's so much energy kind of thing. I'm gonna have to take him on like a really long walk after this. I think
That's
so.
fair. I mean, like for the podcast itself, like animals are always a plus. Like,
You know what I mean? We bring the fluff.
exactly.
Bring the fluff.
What we got next? Yeah. So after that, we had a vignette. We finally get the confirmation. Tony D'Angelo in his restaurant to deal with this emergency, as his goons put it. To which is revealed that Obafemi has taken a table at Tony's restaurant, specifically Tony's table. Big stuff here. Tony compliments Oba, but Oba says he doesn't need Tony's compliments, and Tony gets that. Tony also says that they can talk it out like men or keep running around, but mid-sentence, Oba gets up and cuts him off to make a point. Oba says that while he could lay waste to everyone in the restaurant, including innocent bystanders, he doesn't have to. He can wait until Sunday. Tony says that Oba's had a hell of a run, but he'll prove that Oba is mortal. Oba says that many have tried, and none have succeeded, and Tony will be no different.
I enjoyed this a lot.
It was melodramatic, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was melodramatic. It was part of a formula that's worked before, but they both did it very, very well.
Yeah, and I think back to like Tony's match with Ilya, where they also had a meeting at the bridge and then at the restaurant, and it was building to that match at Stand and Deliver. I really liked Ilya and Tony's program. I didn't first get it, but I really liked it in the end. Like, this is no different. I think I think Tony's just naturally good, and so's Oba. Like Tony is a good character build. Like,
yeah, it works. Like also I'm getting to it in the predictions and stuff, but this is the match I'm most hyped for. This of No Mercy.
yeah,
Because when they've done it, even though it's been a very short build, they've done it very, very well, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's Oba looked like in that suit. Oba just looked like a monster. Not like he's just like you don't want to fuck with them even more so. Like I thought he forgot the title though. I thought he forgot the title like Ilya did.
yeah.
He looked like an Eternal.
Yeah,
He's just like a god in man form. He really does. He's a beast.
Like
These two.
It's not something you get to see with Oba very often because he's always in the ring. He's always just laying waste to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But in that setting, it suited him so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it just looked like a monster. Like he could burst out of that suit.
Yeah, absolutely good. Yeah,
like easily, and just burst out of it and just bat it.
yeah.
Hulk entrance for Oba.
Yeah,
I've got to do it at least once.
Is that why he walks slowly? In that way, so he don't like bust his suit or anything. Like,
he's not trying to create aura. He's just not trying to shed his pants.
yeah. It's something that I wondered about because, like, every time he's in a suit, he doesn't walk normally. He sort of does a slow walk.
Yeah.
And which I always assumed it was like commanding presence sort of thing. But is it actually just because he legitimately might just rip something if he moves normally?
He is the definition of aura.
Yeah,
He is.
literally.
His entrance is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in a PLE situation, just a
Yeah.
he's got all that length to go. Everyone's feeling it, and he's just staring straight ahead. He's got everyone like there, and
Yeah.
he's very confident in his own like charisma. He knows he's charismatic. He knows he's got aura.
Yeah.
He's a real superstar already, in my opinion.
I was doing a video yesterday, my preview for Emergence and stuff and has Oba been pinned at NXT?
No.
So he won the breakout tournament and then cashed in for the North American title. Hasn't lost since, has he?
Correct.
Yeah.
He might have lost on Level Up, but I don't know about that. Because he was on Level Up before NXT.
That don't count.
Let's
He's
go.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's I'm obviously biased in this because Femi's like one of my faves, like completely.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's probably the match I'm going to rate highest when it comes to doing the review of No Mercy.
This is the match.
Yeah, this is the match.
Is the match.
It's like you've got Ethan and Joe, you've got Roxanne and Jada, which are good. These are good matches as well, but just not the same level as what Oba and Tony will be.
All these people have been pinned before. We've never seen Oba even close to being beaten.
Yeah, like this is a Goldberg level streak. Like,
yeah. Well, he hasn't been beaten.
Yeah.
Since
it isn't even beaten. Like, never mind pinned. It's beaten. Like, count out, DQ. Like,
nothing at all. He's defeated everyone. I've got the cage match up here. He hasn't been beaten since Josh Briggs on a live house show, which was a month before he defeated Miles Bourne on TV.
When was that? Sorry, the date for that.
That was 18th of November 2023. Was his last loss.
Wow.
I mean.
And when was his debut on TV?
His debut for the break. Oh, his actual debut. I don't know if it was the what's it called, wasn't it?
The breakout.
The breakout tournament. So that would have been the 12th of December.
Wow.
2023. And since then, it's just he has had loss on a house show. Sorry.
Oh.
On the 16th. To Josh Briggs and the 15th to Josh Briggs on house shows. However,
they don't really count.
They're house shows, exactly. So they don't necessarily count. But But
also,
as far as that goes,
it could be just count out wins too, for all we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or DQs.
It was a pin for Briggs.
Oh.
Dante Chen on a live house show. on any kind of televised, it was just on Level Up before he.
Yeah.
He clearly became who he was.
Yeah, because I don't think, if I remember correctly, he wasn't the same character he is now on Level Up. I don't remember fully what the character was, but because I used to watch Level Up as well, but like I don't recall. I remember like they built this character on TV for TV, like it wasn't for Level Up before, like or live shows. It was just for TV. This like Nigerian tribe guy, like. Basically what Apollo Crews was meant to be, like 4 years ago.
It was a tribal drum match.
Yeah.
Oba.
Yes.
It was a real one, a proper one, where they actually beat out each other with drums.
He can make that work.
He can.
He would make that work. He is a dynamo. He is brilliant. And he is going to... I agree with both of you when I say that's the match I am looking forward to most for No Mercy.
It's also what I said a few months ago, I think it was. Like, I think Femi is what WWE wanted from Omos when they signed Omos.
Yeah.
Like, and Omos is just, 7 foot nothing who can do nothing. Like...
That's about it. He can scream. He can scream. He's hilarious. That's the thing. Omos is hilarious. So, like, do something with that.
Yeah.
Don't do...
Well, he was the giant ninja.
Yeah, he was.
Just end up like Great Family. Just do release him or do something better. Like let him let him be. They did what was booking, but it just wasn't.
Let him appear on GCW with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
They've got a thing over there, GCW. Like they make tall characters work. So why not?
Yeah.
The indies make anything work, to be fair.
Yeah.
Everyone's up for a good time.
Yeah.
Everyone can suspend their disbelief. People are ready for a little bit more, not just silly, but like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But we love it. Like,
absolutely.
A Lego death match.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, following that vignette, we go to the actual main event closing segment, which is the Joe Hendry concert, which is something that they've been building throughout the course of the show with constant reminders that it's coming up. It's going to be a big thing, allegedly. So Hendry's here. He's got a stool and a guitar. And I'm like, oh, not another one of these guitar ones. So he's written a song about Ethan Page. He sings a song mocking Ethan's cosplay and his figure collecting, and that he needs to put on some clothes. Out comes Ethan Page to save this, because at this point I'm like, fucking hell, this is horrid. This is horrible. Like, this is not the same Joe Hendry that I wanted when I heard about this partnership. I wanted like custom theme songs. I wanted something, you know, like he's good enough character, but he needs to stop being The Rock.
I was gonna say he did a rock concert.
Yeah, like, because at the end of the day, he's not The Rock. The Rock is The Rock. Dwayne Johnson is The Rock. Like, not Joe Hendry. Like, just stop it. Just
no. Joe Hendry's The Rock. There is no. That's the meme. Is like, and then I said, Joe Hendry should be The Rock. Yeah. Joe Hendry. No,
Yeah,
it gave me rock vibes.
yeah, but
I actually missed it.
this
Initially.
this song did nothing for me. I wanted to actually like stop watching altogether. Like, I didn't enjoy it whatsoever.
yeah, it just wasn't. It's not the same. Like, the first live concert he did was in TNA, and like that worked because it was a parody of a song.
Yeah,
Like, it was a full parody, and it was it just so obviously might need a mention with Joe Hendry, but yeah, I mean, it did pop me when the Karate Man popped up on the screen.
yeah,
That made me laugh, but that's just because it's funny to be reminded of the Karate Man.
yeah.
The figures, like, it felt like he just, I don't know how to put it. Like, you want an easy chorus so the people will sing along, but it just felt almost a bit lazy.
It needs to be more upbeat, more vibey. It's like, if you're familiar with the history of Joe Hendry, you know some of his best pieces of parody music. And,
Yeah.
you know, bit of a cheap plug here, but as of an hour and a half ago, there's a video you can watch on the HCW channel of a tier list of Hendry themes that we've recorded. Well, me and Mother did. But if that's up your alley, it's about an hour and a half or something like that. I've just us ranking about 50-ish songs.
But that's the whole point. Is back catalog is way better. Like, imagine if Joe Hendry had blown up how he is now, like when he released Edge's Bitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would it still gets sung now at TNA events, but it's this one felt like a kid's song.
Yeah.
Like, he just recorded it or sang it just because it's easy for people to sing. Like, it's a sing along. No,
And I always like I scan expressions and stuff. To me, and I could be completely off the mark here, I don't feel like Hendry wanted to do this. To me, it seemed like his heart wasn't in it. It seemed like he was just doing a song for the sake of, hey, Joe, you've got to do a song this week.
Yeah. Bit of WWE syndrome.
Yeah.
They took something that, like, he's very good at, and they made it what they do. Which, and sadly, what they've done before is rock concert. And
Yeah.
it did feel
And
like
that's
that.
how it came
I
across.
thought it was funny. I enjoyed it for the time. Like,
Yeah.
I thought in the moment it was funny and entertaining. The crowd liked it and stuff like that. I didn't see it initially. I went downstairs, I was sorting the dogs out. When I came back up, he'd finished the song, but people were still clothing, including Nick was singing, Ethan put some clothes on. And I was like, what the f have I missed? So I don't know. I think because I got it that way and out of nowhere, it was just complete no context. Ethan put some clothes on.
Yeah.
Like, this is what the hell. So maybe it was a bit more funny to me for that. But
so what did you think on your second watch of the song?
second watch wise, like since watching it, it was he could do that stuff as a heel, so he can be a lot shittier. And that makes it more fun because he gets to throw out stuff that you want. He went down a real, it's low hanging fruit. We all know those pictures out there. We all know his first track pictures are out there and stuff like that. So it's an easy target and it's an easy way to keep Hendry as the cool, fun-loving face in a moment against the guy who's a jackass who wants to get himself suspended because he doesn't want to do it. So Ethan tonight just looked like a punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the happens eventually later.
Yeah. So go on.
That argument with Joe Hendry is the argument people were having when he first came to TNA.
Yeah.
Like he should be a heel, but he got it over, and it's just now. I see it's maybe for a different reason, but I'm off the Joe Hendry hype train now.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's for a slightly different reason, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make Hendry look good.
No. And again, it was just like his eyes looked dead. Hendry, it's like he didn't want to be there. Like there was no emotion in the song. Like he wasn't happy about the song he'd made. It was. And again, it just felt like a simple enough sort of, oh, actually, I've got to make this in, 5 days or whatever. So, I don't know. I didn't enjoy this. It was very cheap and it felt very lazy. Of course,
easy segment before the end of the pay-per-view.
But
no one would get injured really. Mm-hmm. You're not putting anyone at risk.
No, true. But I think
the tone though.
I think for me, I got all this history of what, and quite literally, like as of maybe a few weeks ago, I had watched through all of his custom themes that he'd made for the sake of that video. So for me, I've got this entire back catalogue that I can think back on, and the songs he's done, and the people he's dissed, and the songs he's parodied, and it's all really good stuff until you get to certain things, and this one in particular didn't really hit, But regardless of that, Ethan Page does come out afterwards to say the segment. For me, obviously to say the segment, Ethan says that the sing-along is over. However, the crowd don't believe so because they're still chanting the fucking thing during Ethan's talking. Joe's not an NXT superstar, but Ethan is, and he knows what's best, and that is keeping Joe out of NXT and away from the NXT title. Out comes Ava to announce that the match Sunday will have a special guest referee, and she introduces the referee, and the crowd already know who it is. Apparently, I don't know how they know, but it's Trick Williams. Ethan is visibly losing himself and tries to hit Joe with a title. Joe ducks, hits Ethan with the standing ovation, and then he covers Ethan, and Trick counts to 3.
And they ring the bell. The bell gets rung. That's a match. Joe Hendry just won the NXT title.
No, because that bell, that bell was the start of the match, not the end.
The world first match.
We're getting it.
I thoroughly hated this. I hated this so much. Like, we've learned our lesson with the fucking Oro stuff. Like, stop fucking pinning a world champion. Like, he's your world champion. He shouldn't be getting pinned. Until the actual match.
To make Ethan look like a bitch.
Like, this is your world champion.
He's great. Yeah, it shouldn't be this easy to make him look like weak or low or like saying like a bitch.
Yeah,
he shouldn't look like that to anyone. And I'm hoping after this match that he has with Joe Hendry, he can solidify himself a bit more as a force.
He
probably
won't.
Hopefully,
Like
something. It's all been about. It's been the Joe Hendry show.
Whoever's next will probably also pin him before the match. Because that's a running theme, apparently.
We'll go throw into predictions, but this won't be a clean win.
No.
At the pay-per-view.
No.
Really. So it's just gonna dampen his reign even more. Like, he didn't win it clean in the first place.
Yep. Fluke.
Up until his first defense was against someone he considered to be easy.
Yep.
And then he gets pinned for weeks after week after week after week before eventually pinning someone and winning the match. Now he's getting pinned again. He's been made to look like a fool, and then he's gonna lose it straight back to Trick.
Yeah.
It's not great, is it?
No.
Like, they brought him in, made him look like a big star. Just to do this every week. Is this like? Are they still holding a grudge over AEW?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. I was gonna say this. It feels like an AEW grudge. Because this guy was in AEW, whatever. But like, I don't know what it is. They claim that they have no feelings towards AEW, or that AEW is great for the business, whatever. They shouldn't feel threatened, but they seem like they are threatened.
I mean, AEW took the piss a little bit. Like, the stuff they say and continue to say, the stuff they did. I understand why they would be annoyed and why they wouldn't want to work with them. But if you're bringing someone in, then it's a fresh start.
Yeah. Like,
if you're holding grudges, it's stupid.
Where was the treatment for Cody? And Punk?
I mean,
I know
different names, man.
I know Ethan's not on the same level. I know he's not the same there, but
plus AEW were directly feuding with NXT. They weren't feuding with Raw SmackDown.
Yeah, I suppose.
It was directly with NXT.
Okay, well, the next time it comes to NXT from AEW, I want the same treatment that Ethan's getting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sean Spears, why isn't he getting treatment?
Ah, sure. Yeah, I didn't think of him. Ricky Starks.
Maybe he was there going forward. Oh, I want Ricky Starks in WWE. He deserves that.
Yeah,
but he'd be really great.
But let's pin him week after week, meaninglessly on TV, and make him look like a fucking idiot. Like I like Ethan Page. Okay, I don't hide that. I like Ethan Page. Like I like him in TNA. I like the Karate Man, unironically. Like I do really. I like stupid gimmicks like that as well.
Right.
Like
he is great.
Yeah,
everything he does, it's funny.
Yeah, I love the North when they were a team. They were a great fucking team.
Wow. The best tag team in TNA.
Yeah, I liked him in AEW. I liked his run with Scorpio Sky. I liked that. You know, tag team Men of the Year. Like, it was a great tag team. It was stupid, but it was a great tag team. Like,
you can make it work.
Like, this is not making it work in NXT. Like, you're essentially you're bitching out your world champion. Like, oh yeah, go on, pin him. Yeah, go for it. Like, he won't kick out. It's TV. He won't kick out. It's ridiculous.
It's someone from a company pinning him. It's someone from a company that the most of the roster don't respect or don't see as equal.
Yeah. Actually, I think Ethan said as well, hasn't he? Ethan has said you're just a TNA wrestler. Like,
he said it as well. He has more of a reason to that because he experienced it and it didn't end well for him.
Mm.
So he had more reason to be annoyed with TNA.
Yeah.
But it's not a good look.
Because the thing is, there's no consistency. Because we're going to go into predictions and we're all going to predict a Ethan win, and he probably will win. And then we're back to square one again. We'll put with someone else. It's in the same formula, rinse and repeat. You know, it'll be, new challenger, great. Oh no, I got pinned again. Oh no, pay-per-view, here we go. 1, 2, 3, I retain, yay. There's no bones to this. There's no meat to this. Sorry, it's all bones.
Hopefully, the actual match itself can just give us something. That's the only thing I've got for this now.
Yeah.
Is that it goes to a good place, and I think it will because they're good wrestlers.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're performers. They are great performers, and
I am praying for a custom theme song, but I don't think it's coming now. I don't think it's coming now because the whole concert shit. I don't think it's coming. Like
it's too close.
I want a custom theme for Ethan because there's a lot of material that Hendry could use to mock him. There's a lot of material that he could use actually. He could reference AEW, not by name, but you can reference it. You know, you can reference TNA, you can reference the North, reference Josh Alexander. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of things you could.
All out.
They're supposed to be feuding, but Joe Hendry's forgotten about Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
He's forgotten about him.
Like, there's a lot of things they can do here, but they probably won't. And it'll be just a standard entrance. And I'm not...
Gentlemen.
This is the main event. I'm not looking forward to it.
On that note, I am going to have to, I'm afraid, boogie.
After the concert, we cut to Pete Dunne, who is just literally at the rampway. Well, Joe and Trick dance. Pete says to the camera that he thinks Trick's not going to make it to next Tuesday. Wonder what that means.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. But that does bring an end to this review. Now, of course, we would normally end it here, but because it's the go-home show before a PLE, we've got our predictions. Mike did say he'd send this through, but I've not received them yet. So if we get them, we get them. If we don't, we don't. So let me quickly load up the cards because I forgot the card that's on my head. Where's it gone? Here we go. So these are predictions now for NXT No Mercy 2024, which is on... pardon me. It is on the December 1st, which will be probably the day of release for this episode. Hopefully. Again, it's 3 hours. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. The last one we did was I think it was Friday we did it, so I had a bit more time. But we'll see. Kicking things off on this card here with Wesley and Zachary Wentz.
I'm gonna say Wentz.
Are you saying Wentz or Wes?
Wentz, the TNA X Division champion,
Okay.
Zachary Wentz. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I just said I'm biased. Yeah, I think Wentz. I don't know. Maybe Trey gets involved. But I can't say for certain. Yeah. Oh no. No, I'm gonna say Wes,
Uh-huh.
and then it gives them a reason to have another match, and then especially if Wentz goes down the route of, well, I've done this in TNA you couldn't do. That's win the X Division Championship.
Yeah.
If Wes beats Zach, then Wes can be like, well, I'm gonna take our title from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Wesley.
Fair. I am also on the Wesley side of this argument. In that I think there's no real program I see if Wentz wins here. The program relies on Wes being a heel, on using whatever tactics he uses, like a low blow or weapons or whatever, to get the win ultimately on Zach, and then I believe that will prompt Trey to get involved, and then we'll get from there Wes and Trey, maybe, or maybe a Rascal triple threat. I don't know. I think Sony needs to have between Zachary and Trey first before that happens. But
Yeah, they do. Especially now with the extra championship in the mix,
exactly.
it can make that work.
But that's another thing too. Will Zachary enter No Mercy with a title belt? I mean, physically with a title belt.
I reckon so. I think Tina did it for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it came out of nowhere. It did it for a reason.
I think as well, like Jordan came out with the Knockouts title, so
I think they'll do it.
that's fair.
It makes sense too.
Yeah, I agree. So that's the first match of the night. We have next for the tag team titles, Chase University, Andre Chase and Rich Holland taking on Nathan Frazier and Axiom. For this match, I have got Chase U. It's quite literally their first title match, first title defense. Sorry. I don't see him losing it again. They had a very short reign the first time. I think it was like 3 weeks, and funnily enough, I think if they lose here, it'll be another 3-week thing. I don't think they're losing here. I think they beat Fraction, and I think they move on to Hank and Tank, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's
Hank and Tank?
You can't have him lose. Like you just can't. If they're not in the seeds of Ridge turning again, then yeah, but not yet. Just not yet. It's got to be It's got to be Chase U.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to be. And then maybe this is where Axiom turns on Fraser. If there's that feud again, but it was more personal this time.
Yeah. So to come back, Mike has sent through his predictions. So he has Wes Les. Brings more heel heat moving on. That's what he said. He mixed two of them in one there. So yeah, Wes Les. So yeah, Wesley. And Chase U. Fractured Fraxium. Which sounds like an injury.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to fracture your Fraxium.
No, you don't. So up next we have the singles match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Kalani Jordan defends against Wendy Chu. I will say, for me, this is my hardest match to call.
I'm saying Wendy Chu. They've tried it with Kalani. I don't even though it's been short reign. I just feel like there's more things they can do if Wendy wins this.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
because we said it before, but it does need a more experienced hand on this title.
Yeah.
And there's no Kalani's doing a good job, but she hasn't developed enough of a character. Like her ring style is good, and so is her character, but I don't think it's enough to carry to make a championship. Because I thought it'd be defense after defense after defense, but it hasn't been.
Yeah.
Build up a reign that's, if it's not reign with the most character, it can be the reign with the most defenses. But I just don't think they haven't really done that. So I'm gonna say Wendy Chu to give more of a character reign behind it.
Fair. See, now saying all that, I was so sure of what I was going to say for this. Now I'm not. I think I'll stick to my guns. I'll stick to what I originally had, that being Kalani, to retain. I don't know. I think even though you said there's a short reign, it's better to have a more experienced hand on this. I feel like Kalani needs more time in the title to establish her reign and to establish herself as a champion. And I think a win over someone like Wendy Chu could help. Saying that as well, I do think, pardon me, I do think that to be something involved with Tate and Paxley as well.
Yeah.
That causes Wendy Chu to lose. And that builds the Wendy's next program with Tatum. I think Kalani just edges it out this one. I think she just about retains. But it's very close. But I think Kalani wins because, no one does it like Lani.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
I get that.
What has Mike said for this one? Mike has texted through. Here we go. He also thinks Kalani Jordan solidifies her as a force to be reckoned with in the face of darkness and evil.
Like that.
After that, we have the singles match for the NXT North American Championship. Champion Femi defends against Tony D'Angelo. I mean, have I got to say it? Like, it's Femi. It's Femi day in, day out. It's Femi night in, night out. Day 1, day 2, day 3. It's Femi. Like, Femi is NXT through and through. Femi is the guy. Femi.
Yeah.
And I think, to your point earlier, we said in the review, like, I think this will be match of the night. And I think it'll be a very good match, but I think Femi retains. And I think this might be Tony his toughest challenge to date, because D'Angelo can lift him and slam him. So that's been proven. But can he do it 20 minutes into a match?
And pin him.
Yeah. Can he do that? 15 minutes into a match, 20 minutes into a match against Femi. Can he do that? And that'll be what we find out here.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the match. This is it. This is the one I'm most hyped for. And I am gonna go with Oba, but I think this is the only time I've really believed someone can actually beat him.
Yeah.
Which is why when Oba does win, it will give it that much more importance to his reign, even though it has been one of the best reigns I've ever seen. Because of his style, like, he just gets in there and just lays you out. But
yeah,
the visual of Tony D'Angelo slamming him with the spine buster, that's made it way more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because other times it's just been triple threats where he doesn't have to be pinned to lose it. But this one, this is where you could actually see Tony winning. But I'm gonna stick with Oba because this needs to be the longest reign in North American champion in history. This needs to be.
You know what?
This is the reign.
While we're at it, just let me hold the title for 7 years. Just give it. Break Roman's record, break Hogan's record, break Sammartino's record. Just. Longest reigning champion in history of wrestling.
Do it, This is the match.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with Oba.
Yeah, fair. What has Mikey Boy said? Mikey Boy has said, I honestly want to say Tony D, but Mr. Aura is going to take it, and he should. He's awesome. Oba on top.
Yeah. Is the point made again? There's a small chance that Tony wins.
Yeah.
But it's a bigger chance than anyone else he's faced.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been if you're doing percentage odds or something, this match is 95-5. Whereas before it was 98-2 or 99-1.
Yeah.
Tony got an increased chance, but it's not by much.
Be good though.
Yeah.
Excited for it.
It will absolutely be good. we move on to the penultimate match here. Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez, champion, defends against Jada Parker.
Again, pretty obvious it's Roxanne. I wouldn't be mad at seeing Jada Parker win the title just for the chaos it will cause. But nah, Roxanne ain't losing. And then we get Julia at the end. That's where it's leading.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roxanne loses to Julia, and then Roxanne goes to the main roster.
That's fair.
It just makes it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice that this is a challenger who Roxanne hasn't faced before.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. But yeah, it doesn't change the outcome. Roxanne still NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, I agree. Roxanne wins. There's no real debate there. I think Jada, is good and is improving, but she's not champion. She's not material for that yet.
This could be Jada's breakout performance.
Precisely.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, precisely.
But
not like she wins the title. Like
No.
this match could put her on the map, but it's not the one that'll get her home. Yeah, Roxanne all the way for this. I've got no real it's like Femi. What else can I say? Like, it's Roxanne Perez. Like, Roxanne Perez is the champion in that division.
Yeah, she's a prodigy for a reason.
Yeah, but also as well, to your point, I think as well Julia is going to be appearing at the end, possibly challenging Roxanne. I don't know. And I think we do see Vic here as well in the crowd. I think we've got so many little cogs moving, all coming to this main machine, that is NXT. As for what Mike has said, Roxanne takes Jada, but Jada has a great match and really pushes her stock. So he's saying Roxanne. And moving on to the main event of the show for the NXT Championship and a special guest referee match, which will be Trick Williams. Champion Ethan Page defends against Joe Hendry. I'm going with Ethan. I don't see him losing the title to anyone other than Trick Williams. The fact that the referee says to me that there'll be interference of some kind, and I think Pete Dunne will interfere and do something to Trick. And yeah, I think ultimately a knocked out Trick will count the pin for Ethan. Like, literally, like, he's on the floor and someone lifts his arm and do like 1, 2, that sort of thing. Yeah, Ethan wins, continues his reign, and hopefully he's booked in a fucking way that's not going to make him look stupid.
There will be some shenanigans because it's special guest referee. That it's almost law at this point. There has to be something going on.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes the count. I think a referee from the back makes the count because Pete Dunne takes Trick out.
Yeah.
And Josh Alexander costs Joe Hendry
That's fair.
the NXT title. I've been saying it since Slammiversary.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Alexander costs Joe Hendry the NXT Championship. Joe then comes back to TNA, is done with NXT until he goes back there when he's signed to NXT.
Yeah.
Then they can finally start on the Joe Hendry Josh Alexander feud. That's if Josh is actually okay, because he did go through an Iron Man match where he got battered. An hour-long Iron Man match, but I should be fine. But yeah, Ethan Page retains. Trick gets taken out with Pete Dunne. Josh Alexander takes out Joe Hendry, and a referee from the back counts to 3.
Yeah.
I can't see much more than that. I may be really overthinking it, and they might just do it. Like, But I thought they might do it with Jordan Grace, and they didn't. So
They won't. They're not giving the title to a signed TNA guy. Like even if he's already like agreed to join WWE at the end of the contract, like he's still TNA signed.
yeah.
So I
They're
don't.
not gonna have.
They're not gonna like let a TNA
Oh.
signed guy win their main title.
Again, we go back to the point of the TV tapings for TNA are happening tonight.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like Joe Hendry has to go to wherever for the title match.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna. You can't have you can't then you can't have the NXT title on TNA.
Yeah.
Because the taping's already happened.
Yeah, I mean they're in Colorado for No Mercy.
I don't know the distance between Kentucky and Colorado.
I don't think it's that
quite
much.
a trek.
I don't think that much, to be honest with you. It might be doable.
I mean, we do, but it's still he's got a full day.
That is true. Very true. My neck. I'm just studying the map right now to try and find them.
I mean, it will be doable because he's got an entire day to do it.
Where was it said? So he's in Kentucky, right?
Yep. Or Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky to
Denver,
Colorado. Where's Colorado? Why can't I find Colorado? Is that not a state? Is it called something else?
I'm pretty sure it's Colorado. I don't know.
Colorado, Louisiana, Arizona. Oh, there's Colorado. Yeah, so it's about 3 states out.
Okay. In America, you could drive for if you can drive for like 4 hours and still be in the same place.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know for certain. But we'll find out, I guess, on the tapings when they happen. As for what Mike has said, Ethan Page, please, in a way that doesn't make him look foolish. So yeah, I very much agree. Ethan needs. To be fair, the pay-per-view matches aren't the bad ones. It's the stuff in between the PLEs for Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Like he beat Oro quite convincingly. Like he'll probably beat Joe with some shenanigans. And then we'll move on to what I'm assuming will be a multi-man match. The next one. It'll probably be Ethan, Trick, and Pete Dunne.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Trick won't win there. He'll win the one-on-one with Ethan. I think Ethan will pin Pete at the next one, and then after that, then we get Trick and Ethan.
You didn't beat me. You didn't pin me. I want a rematch. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is our predictions for NXT No Mercy, and that has been the NXT review, Show Squared, whatever you want to call it. It's been almost 4 hours long. I don't know what the end product will look like after the edit. Hopefully a bit less, but no guarantee. Of course, as always, please go follow Mike, Penciled In itself, Penciled In Nikki as well. They're all part of the HCW Extended family now. And of course, do follow Craig. Craig's on Twitter just here underneath his name, but I'll put his link to his YouTube and all that as well in the description. He also releases videos, so go check out Craig. Pretty cool guy. Bit sus, but pretty cool guy nonetheless. And as well with the video itself, please like, share, subscribe, comment as well. Like, it's all free, and you can always talk about what you liked, what you disliked, what shows you want to see covered. Do you like Ethan Page's booking? Do you like Joe Hendry? No, me neither. And what did I say? Oh yeah, and our outlets are just underneath here as well. So our Instagram, Facebook, and our Twitch. Twitter is currently inactive. It's a thing. It's just stupid. The account's been locked basically on Twitter. So it's currently inactive, which you might have noticed when you tagged my personal Twitter rather than the HW one on the TNA preview thing you did.
Yeah.
You might notice that you couldn't find the account because it's not finding on any searches right now. So fun.
Damn you, Elon, man.
Damn you, Elon. But no. So yeah, for now it's fine. It's what it is. And if you're so inclined, give me a follow on Twitter. It's just the breezy, just there. I talk wrestling. I talk everything. I talk gaming. I talk a lot of stuff, and even British politics. Because why not? Oh yeah, and before I go, I'll do a quick plug again for the video that has gone out today. But by the time this video goes out, it'll be yesterday. Joe Hendry theme tier list. Sorry, myself and Muzza went over about 50-ish Joe Hendry custom songs, and we ranked them from A tier to F tier. Fun video, bit long, but it's fine. It's worth it. It's hopefully one of the first of its kind because I don't really see much else, strangely, of Joe Hendry tier lists. There's one guy who did one, but he did like 12 videos. So we done like 5 times the amount of like Hendry songs than that guy did. So yeah, go check that out if you enjoy a bit of Joe Hendry, and I put video links of each song as well in there, so you can go check them out and listen to them. But yeah, check the video out, please. And as always with this video is over. I've been Dan. This has been Craig. Mike had to go earlier, but he was here too. And this has been Show Squared. And I bid you adieu.